We had a number of injuries coming out of that game.
How does that injury toll challenge you here in the short term, the next couple of weeks, of just being able to have enough guys to work?
Yeah, no, I think we'll have plenty of numbers, and it'll give those new guys some opportunities to get some reps and compete. Schematically, we'll be smart and keep it fairly simple in the game so that they can go out there and they can play ball. But I think we'll be just fine in terms of getting the reps that we need to get over the course of the next 2 weeks.
This is bare their souls.
The following is rated TV MALSV. It contains strong language, violence, and nudity. It is intended only for mature audiences. Viewer discretion advised.
Can you shut the fuck up?
Speak.
Fuck!
Good boy.
If you and DJ had a baby, it would be Luther Burden.
Don't know what the fuck they're doing. Do you understand that?
I mean, we're being held accountable, and when you fuck up, excuse my language. There's a Chicago Bears podcast. Like most others.
To the end zone. Touchdown! Roma Dunze!
Three guys on the broadcast are a lot like brothers. This is bare their souls. Uncensored and no controls.
Here they come.
This is bare their souls.
goes down in Bears territory.
With three likable labels. This is bare their souls. This is bare their soul. Bare their soul.
Pressure comes. Gets away from Van Ginkel. Still under pressure. Floats it down the sideline. And somehow Swift finds.
Let's go. This is bare their souls. Uncensored and no control.
This is going to be intercepted.
This is bare their souls. With three likable a-holes. This is bare their souls. This is bare their souls. Bare their souls.
Moore in for a Chicago touchdown. Oh, look at the pressure. That time it's Montez Sweat. Swift for Grace. Down Chicago. Chicago comes to land.
We have a lot of lofty goals. We're trying to win the Super Bowl.
I've been growing since Ben's been here.
We're going to be ready to go when it's time to go. We got some dogs on this team.
Being able to have guys that can play any type of role is just, exciting as a defense,
We got a damn good head coach here. A damn good head coach. I'm just telling you. I know what they look like. I've been around.
You have to pay the toll. You have to pay the price. It's a privilege to be on this defense.
now for Zim, the Tooch, and the Podfather Aldo Gandia.
Welcome, everyone, to Bare Their Souls. My name is Aldo Gandia. The two other lovable a-holes are not here right now. Johnny Santucci will be here shortly, and Steven Zimmerman is somewhere out in Chicago's Navy Pier with his family, enjoying the fireworks show. I actually had dinner with Zim yesterday, last night in Evanston at a really nice restaurant, and we chatted about the show, but mostly got to know his family really well. And he's got a beautiful, beautiful family. So that was really valuable time that I had with him. And he will represent himself on this show. He's got a little song production that he did, and we'll get to that shortly. Our first thing on tap is Mason West is scheduled to be here at the top of the show, but he hasn't arrived yet. So hopefully he'll join us soon, and then we can talk a little bit about Bears injuries, because Mason is, besides a really nice guy, he is also, let's see here what it says. It says he is the clinic director, physical therapist at Ignite Physical Therapy and Sports Performance in the West Loop. He also has a podcast called Bare Bones to IR and Back Again. So hopefully he'll join us soon, because we structured the show to begin with him because he has to get up like at 5 a.m. in the morning. So maybe he fell asleep and won't make it tonight. So that is, if that is the case, we will for John. Let me tell you that today I was at Bears camp. So you see a little sun on the face, and I heard some really interesting things that I'll share later in the show about Caleb Williams. But right now, I'll just tell you that overall, it was a good practice, but not a great practice. We're still not seeing the offense click along in the way we all will hope that it will soon. I don't think that it's time to be to ring any panic bells or anything like that. It's a very complicated offense and a lot of offense that Ben Johnson has been teaching this team. And so it's just taken a while for some of the players to, frankly, to master some of the plays. In fact, Ben Johnson, before the practice, said this about, how come there's been some mistakes from a procedural standpoint with Caleb and some of the false starts and stuff. This is what he said.
Yeah, we haven't taken anything off their plate. This is still what we installed from the get-go, and so it's been a little bit overwhelming for some particular players. I think guys are starting to get a better feel for it, and they're settling in. This has been the plan from the get-go, is that we don't know who we're going to be yet on offense. Zone scheme, gap scheme up front in terms of the running game, play action pass, or we're going to be more from the shotgun, under center. And so by design, we gave a lot so that we can determine what we want to do and which direction we want to go. We're at the point now where we'll start honing in on some of those things, but as far as they know, everything that we've installed up to this point, that's still alive and well.
I just learned that Mason is not here because I forgot to send him the link. So let me send him that now and tell him jump on now. My mistake. Anyway, I wanted to reference what the head coach said there. If you notice that he used the words for some players, they've been a little slow in adapting to things. And so the big question, of course, and I think a lot of the Bears media is kind of privy to this, they're aware of this, is that Caleb is one of those players. And it was the approach that Ben Johnson took by installing 14 different installs. Was that too much for the young quarterback to process so quickly? Now, I know, of course, OTAs, that process started in OTAs and stuff like that, but it could be let me phrase it this way. There is some scuttlebutt among Bears media about the fact that Caleb is one of those players that's having a hard time getting accustomed to things, and that we should hopefully start to see some improvement in how he performs. So, yeah, I thought it was really interesting. And again, kudos to Ben Johnson. He's being as transparent as he could possibly be. And I do have concerns about the fact that these installs may have been too much for this young quarterback. But the word that I'm hearing is that Ben thought it was a good approach to throw everything at him and then now start to whittle things away and start to focus on the things that he can handle best. So that's the plan. And hopefully I was on another show this past week, a few days ago, and I said, I think for Caleb, the light switch is going to go on. It's going to go on this week, or it's going to go on soon, because I simply have confidence that he is going to make this happen, that the Ben Johnson's playbook and the intricacies of it is going to start to make sense for him. And those people who are, magnifying this, and I know Tooch is going to talk about this in his Bears State of Affairs. Those people who are magnifying this and saying, this will do or die season for him. Is Caleb, a bust? Or they just don't understand everything that's going into this, and I think that perhaps some of the concerns or some of these panic buttons on Caleb are because people are starting to hear these words, these rumors, these whispers that Caleb is having a hard time with the playbook, that Caleb, at least last season, was not applying himself, and that was one of the things that Ben Johnson had to deal with as he came to the team. He was well aware of some of the stories regarding Caleb's behavior last year, but he took the job simply because he knows Ben has a lot of confidence himself as a disciplinarian and a teacher, that he wanted to take the challenge of Caleb Williams on because of his phenomenal talent. And that's the key. When people are saying put Bajan in there, there's a clear difference between the talent level between Caleb Williams and Tyson Bajan. I see that Mason has joined us. Let me put him up on the screen here. Mason, how are you, my friend?
Not bad. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. I apologize. I forgot to send you the link, and so that's why you weren't here 5 minutes ago or 10 minutes ago whenever we agreed. I apologize for that.
No, it's all good.
Excellent. Listen, I want to tell people that you and I first met when you joined a fantasy football league that I put together last year, and Mason was so politely said, "Are you fucking crazy with the scoring system that you set up for this fantasy league? It's like field goal kickers were getting 50 points for a 50-yard field goal and stuff." I have to admit I screwed that one up, but I think we still had fun that season.
No, it was still a good time. I just was blown away by the defense and the kicking scoring, and it was just one of those situations where I was like, wow, like I messed up that draft and I had to try to pivot. I still made the playoffs, but
yes, you did.
Didn't win it all. But like you said, had a good time.
Yeah, thank you, man. Thank you. Hey, tell people a little bit about your work in the physical therapy world, where you're at, and so forth, and how long you've been doing it, and so forth.
Yeah, absolutely. So, like you said, I'm a doctor of physical therapy. I've been doing it. So I graduated 2018. So I've been doing it since then. I was really lucky. I had a lot of good mentors. And my path led me to be a clinic director of Ignite Physical Therapy and Sports Performance in the West Loop of Chicago. We specialize in working with athletes. So we do work with everyone from, middle school, high schoolers, all the way to professionals. And then also, people like even myself who hurt themselves all far too often playing pickup basketball on the weekends. But then I was lucky enough to be able to use that knowledge and transition also to, do some podcasting and try to, because I always felt that was a gap, right? In fantasy football, regular football, all sports, all lacrosse, but basically you would hear so-and-so has a hamstring strain. But what does that really mean? What's the biomechanics behind it? Why is it taking player A 2 weeks to come back, but it takes player B, throughout the entire season? And there's just a lot left out there that people weren't understanding. So I'm glad that I have the knowledge to be able to fill that, specifically like in that athletic world.
I love that. So you're going to fill some of that knowledge in for us. My very first question for you regarding injuries in professional football and so forth, up until Alshon Jeffrey was on the team, I had never heard the term soft tissue injuries. I mean, this guy has a lot of problems with soft tissue injury. And I was like, really? First of all, I don't know exactly what that is. Can you fill me in?
Yeah, absolutely. So, soft tissue injuries or soft tissue issues, as a lot of people like to talk about it, really is everything from the muscle to the tendon. So you have to remember, so the muscle is the contractile or the actual part that's going to contract, producing the force. And then the tendon is going to be what attaches that muscle to the bone. So when you have a soft tissue issue or an injury, you're going to have an injury to one of those two areas. If it's to the muscle belly, right, the actual contracting part, it's all about threshold. So, if for the sake of argument, that muscle can tolerate 80 pounds of force and you continuously give it 90, 100, 120 over time, that's where you can get strain, right? And there's 4 grades 1 through 4. 1 and 2 are kind of your initial ones. They're all versions of tears, but they're like tiny tears. Grade 3 is going to be more like a partial, and a 4 is a complete tear, right? And then when you look at the tendon, again, which where the muscle attaches to the bone, that part doesn't contract, but it transmits force. Now, you could also have a tear there, and that's definitely harder to come back from. It's going to be one of those instances where the rehab is a lot longer because that really has to tolerate a lot of force. And actually what happens is, let's say for the sake of argument, the middle section of the tendon, it's injured. What happens is your body is so good at trying to compensate, it tends to almost skip the injured part and just use the healthy parts. Mm-hmm. That's why it's so hard to come back from, because you have to know how specifically to load that tendon so that you strengthen that injured part. And that's where a lot of times personal trainers, some physical therapists, some athletic trainers miss that. And that's where you can get recurrent issues.
Okay. So why, a lot of people immediately say, well, he's not stretching enough if he's got, a soft tissue injury. Is that right or wrong?
There's been a big shift. So originally, there's a lot of people, this is now like 5-10 years ago, hey, you're not stretching enough, right? That was a big thought. But now it's gotten to the point where it's like my patients, we never stretch. That's not a thing we do. For example, the way I always explain it to my patients when we're having this conversation is, if you take a rubber band, right, and it's used to being a certain size, and then all of a sudden you stretch it to a new point, and now it's this new size, right? It's thinned out. It doesn't have the ability. It's not as thick, not as able to. It doesn't have the same force. So now all of a sudden you go and do a sport with this thinned out rubber band. There's a higher chance that you have an issue, right? That you tear it. So what I focus on more so is, I focus more so on mobility. So the ability to get from point A to point B and how efficient you move through that. Now, that's not to say that sometimes you have a muscle that needs to lengthen, but if you're going to do that, you are doing it in a controlled environment, or you're doing it at the end. So maybe if I have someone that's a runner, they go on the run, then they stretch, right? Never do it at the beginning. And a lot of times, take the hamstring. Hamstrings are actually a lot of times really weak, and it feels tight. And so in that instance, you have to strengthen it. And then all of a sudden you're able to, you touch your toes better than you could before. So more often than not, it's more of a strength issue and more of an output issue, or even, like I just said, like more of a mobility versus that true stretch.
Wow. It's funny that you say that, because my hamstrings, feel like they are tight. There's no giving them. And then when I go to touch my toes, it's a struggle, man, and a painful struggle. Zach says all hamstring injuries are due not to drinking enough water, per Greg Gabriel, who is one of the show hosts on the network here. Do you think there's any credence to that?
Obviously, that's just pretty insane. However, I will say that there has been a big shift towards the things we don't think enough about, like recovery, sleep, hydration. That is a big part of actually what's going on with the muscle. But yeah, saying it's all due to water, not true there, Dr. Greg.
That's old school thinking there. All right, let's talk a little bit about the Chicago Bears injury situation, because I'm interested in today. Well, let's hear what the head coach said about two key injuries: Jalen Johnson and Kyler Gordon.
He is right on track. Everything I said last time.
He started with Jalen.
He is right on track. Everything I said last time. He's right on track. He's right where he needs to be. It's really, like I said, those type of injuries, you don't know. Short term, long term. Every guy's a little bit different, but I think we're going in the right direction right now.
How long do you expect Kyler to be out?
He's more week to week right now, but hopefully before camp ends, we'll be able to get him back.
Now, based on what you just heard, Ben Johnson there, and as a professional in this medical field, can you read into anything that he's saying there and maybe suspect that this could be wrong or that could be right or whatever?
So the fact that timeline wise, right, the fact that basically it's like, okay, we're pretty sure Jalen's going to be back by week 1 versus with Kyler Gordon more week to week. To me, it sounds like both of them are going to be soft tissue injuries, but just different grades of them. If it was going to be more of like a let's say like an MCL sprain, like a ligament issue, that one is usually going to be more consistently, like, that timeline, like for sure, more so what that's going to be. And that's going to be a couple weeks kind of a thing. So, and we also know, I think they let it slip at one point that it's a hamstring for Kyler Gordon, versus Jalen's this big unknown cloud. Like, they haven't let anyone know what it is. I believe, and I could be wrong on this, but I believe it might be quad strain for Jalen. So again, the difference between why Jalen's week 1, most likely he'll be ready, versus Kyler Gordon is, we'll see how the week goes. Kyler Gordon's had a bit of more of a history of some of these injuries. They kind of know how he heals. And again, probably more so that grade 1, grade 2, just it needs time, just a little bit of time. Versus you're talking Jalen, that's where you're starting to think, okay, this is a more serious grade 2 into a grade 3. Because remember, he came in right to camp with this, and he was put on that NFI list because it happened while he was training. And so with that, that's where you're like, look, we need more time for this. He's got to be able to put the right amount of load through there so that I'm assuming quad in this instance, which could be wrong, but I believe it is. So that quad, and the reason that's so important is kind of similar to another bear. If you don't properly manage that quad muscle issue can become a quad or patellar tendon issue. And that's where maybe you get like a rupture, like Karan Hamagaji had that when he was in college. And so now all of a sudden you go from hey, we're managing this, to a, big injury that knocks you out for the year. So you want to be very considerate of that when you're rehabbing and managing that kind of a high level strain, if that is what it is.
Okay. I was at practice today, and before practice happened, somebody pointed out to me that, Braxton's left ankle is nowhere near 100%. And he told me you can even notice that his left leg is smaller than his right. And I did not notice that during the Dolphins games, but I was taking a close look at him, and it is true. I was actually startled to see the difference. And obviously it's because he hasn't been able to train the muscles in his left leg like he has with the right leg. What can you tell us about that? Is that common when you have an ankle injury, that there would be a sizable lack of muscle strength and loss?
Yeah, unfortunately, it's very true, especially when you're looking at these high-level athletes. What they have to do, especially for an offensive lineman and defensive lineman, to maintain that amount of mass is pretty crazy. Like, you could take Joe Thomas as an example, right? I mean, he was one of the best left tackles to play the game for the Browns, and then if you see him today, he's very svelte compared, and he talks about how hard he had to work to maintain that mass as a tackle out there. And so not only are you factoring that into it, but you're also looking at the fact with that it was a fibular fracture, you got surgery. Anytime you have the fracture, anytime you have surgery, you get immediately muscle atrophy, right? Wasting of that muscle. And usually you're going to see a lot of those individuals, they're going to be in a boot. Sometimes they're going to be on that little scooter that they can't put weight through their leg.
Mm-hmm.
And it's amazing how, your body will change, right? For good or for better, for worse. If you give it load, if you give it flexibility, you get strong, you get flexible. If you sit around and do nothing, if you, if you're static, your body's going to say, I don't need this right now, right? I'm going to conserve. So that's all of a sudden where not just at the ankle, at the knee, at the hip, you're going to start to lose a lot of that muscle mass there. And that's one of the things that's tough for Braxton. He already had a little bit of a problem with anchor. That's always kind of been his thing, right? You see defensive ends can get through his chest, and he's had to try to, adjust for that. And sometimes that's where he'll let individuals cut inside of him. And we've seen that a little bit already, like in preseason. And so that's still a problem. when your left ankle, especially that outer one for him, is not able to load through it as well. That's where you're going to have some of these issues pop up. So absolutely, it makes sense that he is not necessarily exactly where he needs to be, right? It was always a longer road for him. He was on the right timeline. It's just, unfortunately, when that injury happened, right, I believe it was in December, it was just late in the year. So, if it happens September, right, he would have had a lot more time, put that mass back on, it would be a different story. It's just now he's got, Ozzy Trapillo breathing down his neck. He has to get out there, right? He doesn't get a chance to really try to get that muscle mass back. As an example, if you look at ACL tears, you're not at 100% until probably 2 years post-op, right? And a lot of that is because of the same thing in terms of that power production and that muscle wasting that you had. Braxton isn't even close to a year yet.
Right, exactly. What's your gut feeling? I know these are tough questions because you haven't had the opportunity to examine the patient. But what's your gut feel based on what you've seen and that Miami game and what you're hearing about his play and what you and your expertise? Is his career in danger, or is this season in danger?
Between the two, it's probably closer to season. There was actually a study that the NFL did a couple of years ago and showed that about 71% of NFL athletes successfully return to play after an ankle fracture. And these athletes spend about an average of about 98 days on IR, and they continue playing for an average of 41 games across 3.5 seasons, which is more or less even just like the average NFL lifespan for a player. They also show that players that did not return to play had significantly lower pre-injury season approximate value. So basically, right, SAV, that approximate value, looks to put a number on a seasonal value of a player. So you can basically say more valuable players are more likely to return. And one could argue a starting left tackle, pretty valuable. So it's what's probably going to happen is we'll end up seeing what parses out here, but it's more likely going to be an issue for this season for the Bears. And then when he hits free agency, which is the most likely thing at this point, whichever team gets him, he has another full off season to rehab, and they're going to have a solid left tackle. And you're seeing that even like in practice today. You're seeing both Braxton and Ozzy Trapillo, they're kind of being put on notice. You're seeing the Canadian Eagle is taking first rep team snaps, and the team is saying, hey guys, neither of you are showing what we need from you. You heard that from Rouchar talk today, right? He even said Braxton was doing well in the one-on-ones with the Dolphins. Then all of a sudden he gets to the game, he's reverting back to his poor anchor mechanics. That's a problem. And so this is an open competition, not just with Braxton, not just with Ozzy, but now all of a sudden Theo Benedict's getting in there. And it's funny that Kron Ngaju's not to be seen, apparently. He's just now number 4.
Well, he practiced today, and then I spoke with someone who told me that he was actually starting to work out on Monday. So it looks like he's back on track to at least continue to miss assignments and blocks at camp. I'm going to bring in our buddy Johnny Santucci here, who has been monitoring the chat for any questions, and I'm sure he's got a question or thought for you. John, how are you?
Good. Hi, Mason.
How you doing?
Yeah, Aldo told me Mason West was being a guest, so I prepared for the Blackhawks #1 draft pick. with questions. It's like, man,
can you talk?
I had a fun day with that. It was great. I think I had a lot of people. I put out a thank you tweet, and a lot of people responded to that, not understanding I am not a high school white hockey player.
That is hilarious. Well done.
Yeah, I got a couple of questions. Like back in 2008, I had intradiscal plasma injections to give me some release for some herniated discs. And it was with Midwest Sports Medicine, Eugene Lopez, who did some work with the Bears. I think it might have been like a team consultant. And my doctor was former Bears running back Bruce Montella out of the University of Chicago. I got about 15 years of relief. I'm looking for it again, but it's not FDA approved. But would love to get that again. Really gave me a lot of relief from reinflating my discs with plasma, spun from my own blood. But what's coming down the pipe in sports medicine, new technologies or remedies or therapies?
Yeah, I mean, like that one is a really good example of one, like that PRP, the plasma-rich protein. Like you said, it's not FDA approved and not covered by insurance currently, which is just insane. Crazy. Unfortunately, our insurance world is behind the times with a lot of things, and they need study after study after study before they're finally willing to realize, well, if we give this patient this thing, we actually pay less long term because we're not paying for opioids, we're not paying for recurrent surgeries. So over time, that's going to probably finally be covered. It's just a matter of time before they get their head out of their butt. But you're seeing just new surgeries. Like, for example, there's a new Achilles one that's more common, the speed bridge. It's they're thinking that it's going to be a faster recovery. I've seen one or two of them so far pop through the clinic, and so far, I mean, people are getting back to just the walking and even the jumping a lot sooner. There's a new bear procedure for ACLs that's coming around the corner, where you're trying to essentially kind of salvage and create a bridge over what was already there. So, there's always stuff on the horizon. I mean, I remember, I've torn my ACL twice actually. And I remember after the first time I tore it, about a year later, a study came out that said that they were attaching the new ACL at the wrong angle, just by a couple degrees. And then I was like, all right, great. I couldn't have had my tear a year later. And it's just basically put, forces that were not the best on my ACL. And probably that's one of the reasons I had a recurrent tear there. So there's always new things. We're always trying to, whether it's through those surgeries, trying to improve that, whether it's with the rehab process, just understanding the body mechanics better and understanding what the fine line is between protecting the surgery or protecting the tissues that we need to be enhancing, but also pushing the envelope just enough that we can get our patients, our clients back to what they need to do sooner.
Fascinating, man. I find all this stuff so interesting, man. I know you got to get out of here soon. How many wins do you think the Bears will get this season? I know it's a tough schedule. I hate to put you on the spot, but
that schedule's so I think when ran through this on the podcast I do, Bare Bones, I had them at 10. I'm going to bump it down to 9. That schedule is just brutal. I mean, you got to play the Ravens. I mean, obviously your division is tough as it is. You got to play the Eagles. I mean, Dallas is going to be better than they were last year as long as Dak stays healthy. I mean, you can just go through a lot of these games you have to play. I mean, even like the Raiders, who last year you would have been like, yay. But now, I mean, Pete Carroll and Geno Smith, they're going to make that a adult operation. And that's going to be a much tougher game. So it's just like, I think with Ben Johnson, you have a consistent edge now that you didn't have in previous years without having to throw any particular coach under the bus. But it's nice to have the coach that you feel like gives you that edge and is the better of the two.
And Mason, before you go, there are 2 or 3 questions that have popped up here. So, Mr. Shorty asks, isn't there a way to use stem cells to regrow ligaments?
We're at the point now where we can pretty much regrow almost any cell. I mean, you should basically take what are called satellite cells and stem cells, more generally, where they're not specified yet, right? They're basically a blank canvas. And if you introduce them to the right environments, the right signal cells, that they become that other cell. So the question just ends up becoming, once you have that new tissue, right, will it be able to, can we efficiently put it into the the right spot, and will it stick? That's probably the hardest part still. Versus, again, I keep going ACL just because it's one of my favorite things to treat. You're gonna, if you use your own patellar tendon, if you use your own hamstring, people aren't doing hamstring grafts as much. That's way more likely, and we know that that's going to stay in there. Versus kind of, again, this unknown. Like, yes, you might use your cells to grow that ligament, but the body sometimes still sees it as a different tissue.
Okay. I got another good question here. J2K, who's a big fan of Josh Simmons, the left tackle from Ohio State. He's asking, can you talk about the long-term career issues that come from an offensive lineman injuring their patellar tendon? Simmons just overcame his injury, and Rashawn Slater, the Chargers, just sustained a patellar tendon injury. Your thoughts?
So it's really interesting because, Josh Simmons, you could put Karan in there as another example. Rashawn Slater is another one. Quad versus patellar obviously are different, but they're very young individuals who got these injuries. A lot more often than not, when you're seeing quad and patellar ruptures, they're happening in not older, but like late 20s, even sometimes even early 30s players, specifically offensive linemen. So we're kind of in this new age right now where we're trying to figure out, all right, well, what is the best way to rehab and what's the long-term prognosis for these players, right? So for most of them, 6 to 8 months after surgery is when they return to sport. Usually 9 to 12 months after surgery, if the patient's symptom-free most consistently. Again, 100% 2 years post-op is kind of the main thing there. About 50% of NFL players who experience a quad or patellar tendon rupture may never play again. But again, those are some older players that tend to get it. So we're kind of up in the air right now. I mean, so I know when we talked about Josh Simmons in that pre-draft process, should the Bears take him? I always said, I love the player. He would have been the top 5 guy for me if it wasn't for the injury. If the Bears could have gotten back into the back half of that first round, I would have been like, great, go ahead. That's perfect. I mean, exactly where the Chiefs got him is where I had him valued at, because I wasn't worried about what he looked like year 1, year 2, year 3. I am worried about what he looks like when he's about to go get that second contract. Right. And so like Rashawn Slater is a good example of that. I mean, obviously Rashawn just had his, but if you're going to have an issue pop up, you draft this guy, he plays well, you pay that guy. Are you going to have either directly an issue with that, or could you have, a compensatory issue where all of a sudden you have a quad issue where it rips off the bone, or, some crazy other thing that happens there. So, no, I don't have a specific answer there because this is kind of a new world we're in, but yeah, I mean, it's a concern that you certainly have.
One last quickie, and it comes from Tony, big Cubs fan. He says, Mason, did you see the nasty Cubs injury to Miguel Amaya that happened about an hour ago? Are you a Cubs fan? Were you watching that?
I am a Cubs fan, but I did not see it. I got off of work at around 8. Ran home, ate food, got ready for this. So I missed it.
Well, take a look at the replay and share your thoughts on your X channel. What is your handle there? At West Sports PT?
Yeah.
Excellent. And tell us where we can find your podcast.
Yeah, absolutely. So, you can find podcasts anywhere you listen to them, Spotify, iTunes, all that jazz. We record live on Thursdays. Usually we'll do kind of a pre-look at specifically a big emphasis on the injury part, what that's going to look like, preview the show. We record live, but then afterwards, grab that podcast wherever you listen to your podcasts.
Fantastic. Mason, thanks very much. I apologize for sending the link to you late, and I hope we didn't keep you up too late.
It's okay. My 6 a.m. patient I have is pretty chill, so it won't be. If I'm a little cranky, it won't matter.
6 a.m. Tooch. I'm going to sleep around 5:30 a.m.
I'm not
this guy's
up
seeing
until
patients.
6:45.
The grind doesn't stop.
It never does.
Right.
All right, brother. We'll see you down the road. Okay.
Thanks,
Appreciate
Doc.
you.
Thank you. Bye-bye. What a great guest, man.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Yeah, he knows his stuff. So your question was a personal question about what again?
Yeah.
What was it again that happened to you?
So my GP, when I was living in Chicagoland area, he referred me to Dr. Bruce Montella, who I didn't know. He told me he was a former Bears running back. I think he was like undrafted out of the University of Chicago, named Bruce Montella. And the sports it was called Midwest Sports Medicine in Elk Grove Village, and the doctor was Eugene Lopez, who was a long time like Bears team doctor or physical therapist or something consultant.
Okay.
And he was like, he was giving me cortisone injections in my back, and just for relief, and it would last like maybe 3 to 6 months, But he was like, "Hey, I'm doing this experimental procedure. We're going to take some blood and spin it into plasma, and I'm going to reinflate your herniated discs with plasma." And I was like, "All right, man, that sounds great." So I did. I had like 15 years of relief.
Wow.
But it's never been FDA approved. Back
I
then
see.
they were like doing clinical trials and stuff. And I heard it's like near. I know it's been peer reviewed and everything, but I had it done, and of course my doctor was a former Bears running back. I think he might have either been a replacement player or practice squad player. I don't know.
Years, 86,
something, around there, yeah. And he looked, from what I remember, he looked a lot like Ben Johnson. It's like maybe a little thinning hair, less hair, but but you could tell he was a former athlete. Doctor.
Well,
Dr.
Ben
Bruce
Johnson
Martell.
is the main subject of your Bears state of affairs, isn't he?
Yeah.
Fair to say? Well,
a couple subjects, but yeah.
Excellent. Well, let's get to Bears state of affairs, and it always starts with this little ditty.
It's time for John's Bears state of affairs. He got nothing but truth bombs about the Bears. He tells it like it is and always has, with no agenda, just a little pizza. Sit back, light it up, and crack open a beer. It's time for John's Bears state of affairs. State of affairs. It's time for John Bears state of affairs. State of affairs. It's time for John's Bears state of affairs. State of affairs. It's time for John's Bears state of
The chat room's still undecided about the song. This is like, for me, these chicks like listening to WXRT, man. You can hear that one. It sounds like that would fit perfectly on XRT,
Yeah, it does, right? You're right.
All right, Bears state of affairs. Bears 2025 preseason week 2. What's happening, Barflies?
They love you, John. They love you.
Yeah, throw the panties on stage. Yeah, well, the Bears played their first preseason game versus the Dolphins, and good news, Aldo, they didn't lose.
That's right, like kissing a dolphin.
Yeah, they didn't win either, but because the game ended in a 24-24 tie. Yeah, that result, man, that's so Bears. Not just a tie. We're like expecting so much, man. It's really frustrating, if you wagered on the Bears and spent some time handicapping a meaningless preseason game only to lose or push.
Oh no.
I resemble that remark. Yeah. All taken with all. It was an inauspicious way for Ben Johnson's hopefully long and illustrious Bears head coaching career to begin. I mean, you really couldn't ask for a more Bears way to begin things.
Yeah, really.
He didn't lose. He didn't win. In fact, if someone were to ask me, I might describe Ben Johnson's Bears coaching debut as ambiguous or opaque, or perhaps uneventful or inconspicuous.
That's good.
Yeah, it's because all of this offseason, it's all because of the offseason Ben Johnson hype.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, we were really built up, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, after all, Bears fans are a voracious and rabid fan base. Yeah, we were genuinely excited for the return of Bears football. That's right. Yep. Yeah. And with a noon start, well, it really felt like NFL football was back. Yeah, we heard all week about the Ben Johnson effect. We heard all week about how the Bears were totally dominating the Dolphins in joint practices. We wanted blood, Aldo!
Oh, well, look at all the blood there.
I
Holy
know.
cow.
I asked Grok to give me a bear eating a dolphin. That's what
That's a spoon-sized dolphin, too.
I tried to get Grok to make the dolphin not smile. He couldn't do it.
Sometimes takes a while with Grok.
Yeah, Grok.
Yeah.
Caleb seemed to like it.
Yeah, expectations are sky high, and the game ended in a tie. And Ben Johnson's team wasn't particularly impressive. The starters didn't play. The team didn't execute very well on offense. The defense at times couldn't stop the Dolphins from converting on third down. And special teams coverage was atrocious. Yeah, but all these things are typical for a first game of the preseason.
Yeah.
But we wanted more, Aldo. Is it just me, or didn't we want more?
We wanted more.
Yeah, that's how much hype there is this season with Ben Johnson leading the Bears.
Mm-hmm.
We're expecting big changes. We're expecting the Bears to compete for the division. We're expecting the Bears to maybe sneak into the playoffs. And we were expecting the team to come out fired up and get Ben Johnson his first win. But hey, it wasn't all that bad. There were more than a few bright spots. Our backup defense held the Dolphin starters scoreless. Yeah,
At the goal line.
That's right. Yeah. Defensive end Austin Booker, he looked really impressive and finished with 3 sacks, 3 tackles for loss, and 4 quarterback hits.
I love it.
Yeah, I like it too, man. Yeah, linebacker Noah Sewell was flying around making plays. Cal Monangai's angry running style should make him a fan favorite. And Cairo Santos kicking a 57-yard field goal. That was really impressive for a kicker who's viewed as not having the strongest leg.
Yep.
Yeah, if I had to guess why the Bears' first preseason game was ultimately a disappointment, I'd point to 2 reasons.
Okay.
Yeah, first off, the Bears starters, they didn't play. Yeah, and secondly, Caleb Williams did not play. Yeah. Let me break this down for you, Aldo.
Please do.
The hate is real. Yeah, the media and Bears fans went looking for any reason to hate on Caleb Williams, even though he didn't play in the game.
That is correct.
Yeah. It was ridiculous, man. It was a typical Caleb needs the reps and live action game talk. And there was the Caleb will be a bust talk. Yeah. Yeah, haters were disappointed they couldn't make fun of Caleb's nail polish color. Right?
There it is. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, there was even a comparison of Caleb to Johnny Manziel. What the hell?
Can you believe that? That guy was nuts when he said that.
Oh my God. Yeah. Even though he didn't play in the Bears' first preseason game, that didn't stop the media and Bears fans from making Caleb the biggest topic after the game.
So true.
Yeah, it's so Bears. Yeah, last week I said that the pressure on Caleb Williams is higher than most quarterbacks due to past quarterbacks. It's higher simply because he's a number 1 draft pick. A Bears quarterback in history has stacked the narrative against him. Yeah. Yeah, look, last season, Caleb Williams was sacked a league high 68 times, although
he's still sacked looking at that picture.
That's what sums up last season to me so perfectly.
Yeah, it's perfect.
Yeah, he suffered through a 10-game losing streak and was stifled by arguably the worst coaching staff in Bears history. And he still matched rookie peers like Jaden Daniels and Bo Nix statistically and delivered the Bears' best passing season since Jay Cutler in 2015. Sports media still labels him a failure. Yeah, he's the only quarterback in NFL history to have 3,300 passing yards, 18 passing touchdowns, 6 or fewer interceptions, and 415 rushing yards in his first 16 games.
Wow. Not bad, huh?
Last season, Caleb also set the NFL record for most passing attempts without an interception by a rookie. Yeah, he achieved a streak of 354 consecutive passes without an interception. That's a streak that's good for 4th all-time in NFL history.
Mm-hmm.
Yet that promising start, it's not enough to put away doubt in the kid, even though he's now being coached by the best coach the Bears have had in a long time.
Indeed.
Yeah, the hate is real. And the narrative? Yeah, it's as big as just as conspicuous as the Bears' new VMH patches. That's Bears State of Affairs.
That is perfect.
He told it like it is and always will. Listen next week to get an earful of whatever's happening with the Chicago Bears. It always happens here with John's State of Affairs. If you have to disagree, he's got a decree. Go fuck your fist cause you're on his blacklist. You just heard the bare truth right here and now. John gave it to you straight cause he's got no sacred cows. If you have to disagree, he's got a decree. Go fuck your fist cause you're on his blacklist. This was John's Bear State of Affairs.
Great observation.
That's it. That's what I took away from this week, Aldo. I don't know.
Well, I'll tell you, I think a lot of other people did too. I mean, Zim, and I'll play his song. He produced a song for us this week. He can't be here tonight. Yeah. Like I mentioned earlier, he's at Navy Pier. Yeah, we had dinner last night.
Nice.
His wife, his 2 kids, a restaurant, and I'm forgetting the name of it now, in Evanston, not too far from the new football stadium on Central Road. It was great. We had some really tasty burgers, and nice. Zim's wife had a salmon sandwich. We had a great time. He's got 2 beautiful kids. So yeah, it was great. And Zim produced a song, but he got the same impression too, that the game, you got a starting quarterback doesn't even play, and that's all everybody was talking about. Yeah. It's crazy.
Right, he's Johnny Manziel.
Oh my gosh, unbelievable! This is Ben Johnson.
Restaurant on the Fitzometer.
Oh, so the Fitzometer. Well, let's talk about that when he comes, because I got some questions. Fitz will be joining us in about 15 minutes or so.
I love the Fitzometer.
Yeah, it's awesome. So this is Coach Ben Johnson talking about, this was an interesting exchange that Ben had with Jason Leisure. Jason was basically saying, why are there still these persistent problems going on with Ben Johnson, with Caleb Williams at the line of scrimmage?
What are we not understanding about why it's harder than it looks?
Yeah, I would say it's not just him. We had some procedure issues in the game the other day as well. So I don't think we've hit it from the beginning in terms of how much we're loading guys down. Some of the play calls are a little bit longer than others. He and I met yesterday. I'm pleased with how he's able to spit these plays out right now. He's made significant progress in that regard. And once we get going here in a game week, we're going to condense the verbiage even more. So we've challenged him. It's been a lot. That was by design. And so if we struggle at all in the huddle getting the play out, then the delays are going to pop up, and that's a little bit of part of the learning process and us growing. But by design, we've made this very challenging and hard, and we know what we need to do as a staff to alleviate some of that pressure. And I think week 1, we're going to be in a good spot.
So you're getting the play in right away, I assume, immediately, because you've talked about the importance of that.
There are times that I'm a little bit slow as well, so that's on me. So it's all of us.
When it's in quick, then the slowdown is coming when he's trying to relay the different parts of it to each player that's out there?
It could be. Every play is a little bit different, but we're not here to come in and point the finger at any one individual. All of us collectively, we need to know what to do. We need to make sure we communicate that, and we need to go out and execute.
Tooch, I was at practice today with Danny Shimon, our barroom analyst, and he brought up a good point. We should not be complaining about Caleb Williams simply because Jaden Daniels, had such a phenomenal rookie season. He is coming from a completely different system. He's learning a very complex offense. And for people to immediately bring up, that he's a potential bust, and as you said in Bear State Affairs, those
Hate
numbers
is real.
don't say, those numbers don't say potential bust to me. What they say is a very promising quarterback who's just going to need some time.
Yep.
And I spoke with Greg Braggs briefly at camp today, and he says, and that time could be 2 years. It really could be. We could still win games and get into the playoffs without Caleb playing to his maximum capabilities, but it is going to take some time. And I think that the key thing here is let's hope that he's really applying himself as much as he should.
A rookie all over again.
Exactly. Very, very good point. All right. I want to play that Zimmerman song because it gives some more context to week
also
one.
Could be on XRT.
Oh, yes. You've heard it, so you know. Right.
Oh, yeah.
This is a great tune produced by Steven Zimmerman. Here it comes.
Took the field week one, but somehow Caleb's under the gun. It's tiring to me, overanalyzing. Booker's trio, open eyes. Special teams can't hide. Who's the QB2? It might be someone new. In the end, it was a tie. Preseason skips on overtime. At least they didn't lose, if that matters to you. Preseason week 2, Sunday scary's got you watching like an addict, pretending to care about it. Preseason week 2, this week we're on 2, Hard Knocks on HBO. Craig's boys up in Buffalo.
Somebody on your staff told me that if you and DJ had a baby, it would be Luther Burden.
All the discourse from week 1 has a chance to get even more fun. Is Caleb gonna play? What's Coward gonna say? Mitch makes his Chi-Town return. Controversy, yeah, that's for sure. Find out who's halfback too, if that matters to you. Preseason week 2, Sunday scary's got you watching like an addict, pretending to care about it. Preseason week 2, this week we're on 2, Hard Knocks on HBO. The Bills from Buffalo. Will the waters clear? Is there something BJ fears? Kick returns can tighten up. Defensive line might make the cut. Dennis Allen showed us he's not scared, but wonder if offense is there. This week will surely show everything we need to know.
No, it won't.
No, it won't. Preseason week 2, Sunday scary's got you watching like an addict, pretending to care about it. Preseason week 2, this week we're on 2, Hard Knocks on HBO. The Bills from Buffalo.
It's a nice job by Zim there.
I was rocking out back there. Man,
How about it? Yeah.
really good.
Yep. And again, that's it was Shorty who told us about this AI music generator, and it takes it takes some work. You know, you gotta really finesse it. You just don't type stuff in and it comes out perfect. You know, and so credit to Zim for giving it the right prompts and massaging and getting it right. So, Tooch, have you started playing with it yet?
No, not yet.
Oh, okay.
I need to.
Yeah. So, what is your take on Caleb and what his growth could be? Do you see the potential of him flipping that switch and before the season begins? Would it be the middle of the season, or are you going to be more patient and say, hey, it could be 2026 and I wouldn't be surprised? What are your thoughts?
Well, I think it's going to take a little time. I mean, I don't expect him to get Ben Johnson's system right off the bat, but you know, his natural ability, he's gonna make plays. You know, he made last plays with a terrible coaching staff, you know, and a bad offensive line. The line's improved. I expect there'll be peaks and valleys. It's going to be rough. I'm not expecting him to, you know, come out and just light it up. I have him pegged for about 8-9 wins. So, I mean, if they surpass that, I'll be pleasantly surprised.
Yeah, you know, it's beginning to look like, to me, you know, because I forgot what I predicted initially, but I think you're right on track in that we should not necessarily be expecting double-digit wins, that what could happen and probably will happen is a 7, 8, 9 win season. But we will be seeing a team that has significant improvement. Now, these are early judgments, and there's still a lot more progress that can be made before week 1. And who knows, maybe we come out and just annihilate the Minnesota Vikings and let everybody know that the monsters of the Midway are back. But I would preach to people patience, and if things don't immediately, like I'm with you, Tooch. I was disappointed with the play against the Miami. I wanted and I expected to see that first drive be a touchdown and the team fired up and stuff, and it just took a while to get there, bringing us back to reality, right?
I thought they'd come out and get Johnson his first win in his debut.
Yeah,
you know, just wasn't meant to be. I mean, we were kind of in trouble when the Dolphins decided to play their ones, and we were resting our ones.
Yeah,
so
right.
It went downhill. But you know, I thought the second half our depth would get them back into the game. You know, but it wasn't enough to get the win.
Indeed. All right, we got a lot of new visitors to the barroom tonight, and that is because we're welcoming in a new co-host who is going to have a weekly feature here in the at the Barroom Network, and for Bear Their Soul specifically every Wednesday night. And of course, now in our, you know, now that we've got this AI generator with music, I put together this quick little ditty to introduce our new feature guest.
Welcome to the Barroom Fitz. No better food critic exists. You bring the world to Chicago on your own YouTube channel. But we don't just want your connoisseur skills. Your passion for the Bears gives us a chance. Fitz is with the Barroom, boom, boom, boom. Fitz is with the Barroom, boom, 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 boom. Fitz is with the Barroom, boom, boom, boom. Ba ba da ba 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 da ba 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 da ba ba.
Welcome, Fitz, to the Barroom.
That was great.
That was awesome. Wow.
I gotta tell you, I'm working on this, and I went to Bears camp. I really want to take a nap, but I said I want to do a quick introductory tune, and so I'm giving AI all of these prompts, and I wish I would have saved some of them because it came up with the funniest stuff. One of the lyrics it came up with is if you're in a bar at 3 a.m. and someone is telling you where to go for deep dish pizza, it's Fitz. It's Fitz. It's Fitz. And I'm like, I played it for my wife. And she said, yeah, exactly. I played it for my wife, and she says, if you play that song, you're going to lose all your viewers. So I kept spitting out more and more iterations, and finally said, "You know what? I got to write the lyrics myself," and came up with that. It came up pretty good.
You wrote those all.
Okay.
Very good.
Thank you, man. Welcome to the Barroom Network.
Yeah.
Congratulations with your success on social media and your YouTube channel reviewing food. And I know you love the Bears too, so this is kind of a perfect marriage.
Yeah, perfect. Thanks for inviting me on. This is great. 30 minutes to talk about Bears and food. Yeah, I can do that, I think.
And who knows where this will lead to, network TV, who knows? So let's continue the discussion on Bears, and then we'll get to your first review, which is a place special to my heart because it's owned by a family member. So that's the tease for that. But did you see the Dolphins Bears game? And if so, what were your impressions?
I did. And you know what? As far as a preseason game goes, I enjoyed it. We saw touchdowns. We saw, defense. I wasn't disappointed at all. I was like, okay, this is a preseason game. I think every preseason game should end in a tie. That's what I think. Okay. Because nobody cares if it's a win or a loss. Just
a good point.
24-24, it's perfect. I'm okay with that. And people are talking about the offense. Let's remember Tyson Bagent now, he's been here 3 years. He's had 4 offensive coordinators. So,
oh my goodness.
I mean, if we're going to get on a first string quarterback saying he's got too many offensive coordinators, what about a third string quarterback? It's got to be difficult for him too. So I was fine with it,
And a guy from Division II who didn't play in a big college program. Yeah, it's an even bigger challenge for him. That's a good point. What about the left tackle position, Fitz? I wanted to get you and Tooch's thoughts on what's happening there. It appears is like Braxton's injury recovery, while Zach said that it's on schedule, it's still not looking real promising. And then you got the rookie Ozzie who's making the move from right to left. They brought in the Canadian Eagle because Curran has been hurt the last week. And the Canadian Eagle is taking some snaps at left tackle. So now you got 4 guys basically competing for that left tackle position. Does that give you hope, or are you as worried as I look right now?
Well, I wasn't as worried going into the game, but all the talk since then, I was like, well, maybe we should be worried. But it was like, do we I think they made the point during the game, are we judging Braxton on where he's at now or where he should be? What are we judging him on? Is he making the recovery now well that he'll be ready to go 100% on week 1, or is he just not coming along the way they want him to? So I wasn't going into Sunday. I wasn't worried, but since then, I'm a little more concerned about it right now.
Yeah,
you'd like to see him smashing everybody, but it's the first game, so you hope everything's going to be ready by Minnesota. So
yeah. And Tooch, you sort of touched on that in your Bears State of Affairs, is the media and social media.
Great rant, by the way. That was great.
Thank you.
He always brings it. So what are your thoughts on the left tackle position? You feel like Fitz?
Well, 2 things. I'm wondering if all of the talk was about how the Bears dominated the Dolphins in practice. They had the Dolphins fighting amongst themselves and things like that. And by the time Sunday rolled around, they'd spent all their energy, and maybe, but I don't know for sure. And 2, it looks like the injury has, has set Braxton Jones back maybe a little farther than we initially thought. His legs look so thin, Aldo.
Yeah. That left leg, I'm telling you, was noticeably thinner when I saw him today than the right leg. And there's that play against the Dolphins where a backup, undrafted defensive end made a move to the right. Braxton fell for it, and then the pass rusher went inside, and Braxton didn't have the strength in that left leg to make the immediate shift and at least push him out of the play. And instead, it was a pass disruption. So, yeah, it's definitely an issue. I hope he can, expedite the recovery somehow.
I think it's the Bears will be best served if Trapillo is starting at left tackle. I mean, he's just so big and physical. But the Canadian Eagle didn't play that badly, Aldo. He was much improved. It's weird. I never thought I'd say that. I thought he had no chance to be on the roster. Now I changed my mind. I was talking with my coworker and I said, I think this kid's got a shot to make the roster.
Yeah, indeed. Yep. Fitz, any other positions that are concerning you outside of the left tackle position?
Concerning? I can't say concerning it personally at the moment. It's just sort of like it's just everything's out there right now. I thought it went well Sunday, but just there's all talk today. It's like it was maybe I watched a different game or I just wasn't watching it with your observation of Braxton's of his legs. I was like, whoa, that really caught me because I mean you're not standing right next to him.
Right.
So
right.
I mean, so there must be something there because that just.
Yeah, I was 50 yards away when somebody pointed out. It was actually Greg Braggs that pointed out to me, watch his left leg is small. I go, really? And then when I saw it, I was like, holy cow, it does look a lot smaller. So it's I didn't notice it at the Miami game, but when you were there and kind of looking for it, it's pretty noticeable. We've already got food questions for Fitz, so we'll get to those in a minute, guys. But yeah, anything on the defense that this defense has the capability of being a top 5 defense if they can get the pass rush. I'm really hyped up on what this defense can become. What are your thoughts, Fitz?
Yeah, me too. Again, we didn't have first stringers out there, so it's hard to say one way or the other, but. Everything comes down to a pass rush. A pass rush makes your secondary better. It makes your linebackers better. Everything starts right there. And if you can have the pass rush this year, then who knows how good this defense could be.
Yep.
So,
and I hope they can bring in the I didn't talk to Mason West, our first guest, about Shamar Turner because I'd love to see that kid back because of what he could potentially do with an inside pass rush, which would help the 2 defensive ends, Deo and Montez, accumulate some sacks, and hopefully each of them can get into or close to double-digit sacks this season. All right, Fitz. Tooch asked Mason, I'll ask you, what are your expectations for the season? Do you see them winning 10 games, higher or lower?
The meatball fan of me says more than 10 games, but I'm going to say, I'm going to go 9 wins. Okay.
All right.
Yep. That's where I'm at.
9.5.
The second half of the season is going to look a lot better than the first half.
Yeah. Schedule is tough. There's no doubt about it.
But you never know. I mean, those preseason schedules, things change. So
we'll have to revisit the Bears' schedule sometime. Although now that we're kind of, seeing some of how these other teams are coalescing.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I mean, I think the Vegas line for wins is 8.5, which is
okay.
Knows I'm on the right track of being 8-9 wins.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. They got to start off fast and get 2 out of 3 wins in those first 3 games, and then hopefully go to Las Vegas and pummel the Raiders.
There's a lot of stories there on that schedule. Remember week 9 against it's really hard to stop that Bengals offense, man.
My gosh.
Higgins, Chase Brown, and Joe Burrow leading it all. I mean, they don't have much of a defense. But man, I wonder if the Bears can keep up with that Bengals offense. Same with the Commanders offense.
Just
defense.
8-9, you're on the road against the Ravens and Bengals. That's no one wants that.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. On the road.
Fitz, are you going to any of these games?
I don't have any tickets at the moment, but I do have a friend who's got season tickets, and usually one pops up throughout the year. So just kind of have to. Yeah. So I usually get to one a year. So
good.
Nice.
What about a road game? I know a lot of barroom people are going to that Cincinnati game in week 9.
Yep.
Yeah, I've never seen the Bears on the road. I've never been to a road. No, I haven't.
You got to get up to Green
It's
Bay.
a bucket list, but I have not seen the Bears. That Steelers game looks interesting to me. I would love to go see the Steelers. That's my number 2 team. Got a lot of family that's connected to the Steelers going way back. So, yeah, they're my number 2 team. It's really hard this year to be excited for them given their quarterback situation. But yeah, they're my number 2 team.
No, you cannot root for the Steelers while Aaron Rodgers is in uniform.
Yeah,
Fitz, you're forbidden. That's next week's song.
Okay.
I've always felt that the Steelers are like the AFC Bears of the AFC.
Yeah, that's a good description.
Working class, like my friends who I grew up with, childhood friends. We've always considered kind of the Steelers like the Bears of the AFC,
except for all their Super Bowl victories. That's
exactly.
It's a little
big difference.
Yeah.
It's hard to forget that they have 4 because they're
they've got
moniker.
6.
They have 6. That's right.
Yeah.
Because but the Bradshaw teams were 4, right?
Right. Yeah.
And so I remember the saying, one for the thumb.
One for the thumb,
yep. Yeah, they didn't, that iteration of the Steelers didn't get it. But yeah, after that with Roethlisberger, they won a couple more.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Yeah,
but
they're built like the Bears, defensive first.
Right.
Tough, cold weather, working class fans.
Yeah. Yeah. Pittsburgh's a great town. Love it.
Yeah.
All right, Cliff has
Primanti Brothers. What does Primanti Brothers rate on the Fitzometer?
Oh my gosh, they're definitely up in the mid 300 range, like 340s. Yeah, but I always tell people you got to get a chipped ham sandwich from Isley's Deli. Okay, you got to get it. It's one of my favorite sandwiches of just all time. My grandmother would always have bags of chipped ham in the fridge waiting for us. I'd make a chipped ham sandwich with Wonder Bread and some potato chips and a Pepsi, and I was set. So if you're ever out there, just get one.
All right, so why don't we start there with, explain to us how the Fitzometer works. And first, for people who are catching you for the first time, tell us about your YouTube site and how the Fitzometer fits in.
Yeah, it's all the YouTube site is all my food reviews. There's 65 of them now. 60 from Chicagoland, and I got a few from my trips this summer from San Diego and Miami, but that's where all my food reviews are at. The Fitzometer actually was born in the South Lot in 2023. It was a Thursday night game against the Panthers. A buddy of mine, he's always telling me I needed to do a rating system, which I was always kind of, back and forth on, but and he said, well, you remember the Sean-O-meter back in the 1989 Cubs?
Yes.
Where the people out in the bleachers would keep a track of Sean Dunstan's batting average.
That's right.
They had that big sign. So he's like, well, do the Fitzometer. I was like, okay, why not? So it's a batting average. It's a non-scientific way of just talking about the things I like.
It makes more sense than Dave Portnoy's scale for pizza reviews, though.
Oh, yeah, it's something, and I just want to attach to Chicago too. If you know the history behind the Sean-O-meter, so it's something to bring up a discussion and talk about. So yeah, it's just a fun way to sort of put things in order. I going back and looking at some of my ratings, I might have to change some of them.
Really?
Up some and bring some down, but yeah, there's wow,
because you've gone a second time and reevaluate it.
That's something I could do. It's hard to go to places a second time when there's so many places I haven't tried the first time.
Oh yeah.
Have you ever
60
gone
restaurants. I think I've done ever since I started with On Tap back in 2022. There's probably over 70 restaurants, and that doesn't even scratch the surface of Chicagoland.
Yeah.
The one we're going to talk about here soon, Aldo. You mentioned that to me for the first time, and I'll never sit here and say I know everywhere in Chicago. That's the reason I do this is to find places that I've never tried.
Yeah.
And that's the enjoyment I get out of it, is going to new places and, taking my wife along. And she's like, where'd you find this? Oh, some guy on Twitter told me to go. It's like, oh, okay.
That's funny.
That's why I like doing it.
Was it you and your wife that went to this particular restaurant we're going to preview next?
Yes. Yeah, we were there.
Okay.
She enjoyed it just as much as I did. So,
all right. Well, let's play the video that is hosted on YouTube. It's a minute long, a little over a minute. And Fitz, do you want to introduce anything and set up the video at all, or just go?
Yeah, this is just go for it. Let's go. Go for it. We'll talk
about it on the other end. Here it comes.
The Habrito sandwich from Papa's Cash Sabroso. This family-run establishment at 2517 West Division in Chicago's Humboldt Park neighborhood has been serving delicious Puerto Rican cuisine since the 1970s and at their current location since 2002. I tried their steak and their lechon Habritos. Tender ribeye steak with grilled onions, lettuce, tomato, cheese, and mayo, sandwiched between two garlicky fried plantains, making this a uniquely Chicago treat. Or the lechon Habrito, tender, slow-roasted pork cooked to perfection. The Habritos at Papa's Cash Sabroso have been voted the best in the city of Chicago, and I can totally see why. This gets a 337 on the Fitzometer. That's Papa's Cash Sabroso at 2517 West Division in Chicago. Where should I eat next? Comment in the replies, #FitzMagicEats, and check out all of my reviews on my YouTube channel at FitzMagicShy.
Nicely done.
So good.
It's
Look good.
very good.
I'm hungry now.
I'm starving now. That was really good. So tell us a little bit more about your experience over at Papa Cache's.
Yeah, it's such a very quaint, very intimate little restaurant, and it's just so good. The food, I mean, you just walk in there, you go, oh yeah, it's going to be good. I didn't.
Right?
I could have walked in and out and given half of a review just by walking in, but I tried the Habrito sandwiches, and I need to go back for the chicken. I almost took some to go, but I had the week off, so I had been doing some cooking at home. I had a pork shoulder in the fridge. I had some chicken wings. I'm like, I just got too much food to take home right now. So, we'll just have to come back. But it just that steak one, that first bite of the steak was just melted in my mouth. I mean, you could see the food just coming out too.
Yeah.
And the rice was good. That's something my wife is very particular about, is the rice.
Mm-hmm.
She's Cuban, and she does a lot of cooking. So she was she was judging that one, and she's like, yeah, this is good. Okay.
Outstanding. So she's no stranger to Puerto Rican food at all, because the Cuban food and Puerto Rican food is very similar.
Very similar, yeah. And I apologize with getting pronunciations wrong. I get a little nervous with that. She tries to coach me through some of these things, but I do the best I can there. So
you got a passing grade. There's no doubt about it. So, what other restaurants do you have on your YouTube page you really, really want people to head over there now or after the show and check out your review on a particular restaurant?
I always will preach about Hagen's Fish Market over there in Portage Park.
Right there, yeah.
Yeah, it's just one of Chicago's classics. It's been there since the 40s. It's a family-run establishment. Again, same family. I know the family. I worked there for a summer, so it's just one of those places I think people really need to try.
That's my own neighborhood right there.
Yeah.
Is it?
Toots and the Sixpenny.
Toots. I wish that was still there.
It's got the Sixpenny is gone probably too. It was an Irish pub.
That's
Irish people right off the boat, man.
Yeah.
I used to play Irish music on the weekends. The house party Irish musicians. Fantastic.
That had to be a blast.
Yep.
Yeah, that one I like.
Sorry, go ahead, Fitz.
Oh no, I was gonna say like down here on the south side, Palermo's on 95th for pizza. That's always a great place. It's a nice place to sit down and have a meal. That's one. I was over at New Tastes of Chicago earlier this year and got their, not the gym shoe, I got the pack shoe sandwich. It's like 7 pounds worth of food. It's enormous. Like I said, it makes the gym. If you know what the gym shoe is, it's one of those Chicago sandwiches, got gyro meat and roast beef and everything. Well, this one, I said, it makes it look like a flip flop. It's so big because it's just. I looked at this. I'm like, it took me like 3 days to just go through that. It was so that's something that's.
I gotta try that.
Yeah, it's enormous and it's good too. And it's not just a gimmick to be that big. It was a very tasty sandwich. Historically, you've got Dave's Red Hots on Roosevelt in Lawndale. That's the oldest hot dog stand in the city, from the 30s. Wow. So that's someplace, if you're looking for historical significance, that's one to go to, and then, try them all. Try them all.
Indeed.
That's Lawndale. Is that near like Evergreen Park area?
No, that's west side.
West side.
It's
Lawndale.
further north. Yeah.
Trying to think like what runs through, like Cicero is over there, and Berwyn Roosevelt runs through there, right?
Yeah, Roosevelt. Dave's it's at Roosevelt and Central Park.
Okay.
Give you a little.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mr. Shorty wants to know, what is the best Cubano you ever had, Fitz? And I'm assuming he means a Cuban sandwich and not a person.
So yeah, it's the best one I've had. I can't even remember. It was in Miami.
Yeah, were you just in Miami?
In Miami, and we were just. And my aunt used to live near this gas station that had a little convenience store with it. And they made Cuban sandwiches there. And I can't.
Wow.
And they just right there. They had a little, sandwich press and just made them right there. They were so good. This was 20, 30 years ago, but it was delicious. Puerto Sagua, I think is the name of it. It's in Miami Beach on Collins. That's a place we always go to. They have a very good Cuban sandwich down there. Really enjoy it. We were just had one back in July, and it's a nice little old diner style restaurant. It kind of takes you back to the 60s type of a thing. Not that I lived in the 60s, but just takes you back to that day and age. It's a place that I always tell people to go when they're down there. So
very cool. Yeah, if you're ever in Miami, head over to Molina's. They have 2 locations, one in Hialeah and one in Miami, downtown Miami. The place in Hialeah is much like my cousin's place, Papa Cache's. It looks like a hole in the wall. Not to say that my cousin's place looks like a hole in the wall, but
intimate.
Intimate. There you go. But you would not, assume that they've got the best Cuban food in Florida. And it's just phenomenal. I used to do a lot of golf trips down to Florida in February, March, and we'd get off the plane and head straight to Molina's in Hialeah. Really fantastic. Cliff had a question for you. He says, Fitz, a restaurant or homemade? What's your preference?
Ooh, that's I would go. You almost have to break that down. Individual food, I would think. Like steak, I'll take homemade. I enjoy steak, my own steak off the grill. Okay.
Yeah, it makes
Pizza,
sense.
I'll go out restaurant. But it's like Cuban food. My wife makes the best Cuban food, but she won't hesitate to try to go out to a restaurant and find some too, because it's sometimes you're just not in the mood for to cook all that food. But I think it comes down to just what the specific food is. Hate to not give a definitive answer on that, but
I think that's a great answer, because I would say the same things. There are certain things that I cook at home that I would prefer over any other restaurant. For instance, I cook a couple of Puerto Rican dishes, and I just love the way I make them. And I haven't found many restaurants, at least in my area here in Arlington Heights, that can match that food. But in terms for my cooking, and frankly, my wife's, I prefer to go out for everything.
Right.
Else.
Yeah.
Sorry, honey, if you're watching. We do a lot of DoorDash too. So
Yeah.
does that count as home?
Right.
Indeed. Fitz, I know you want to talk about some tailgating ideas for food. So what do you got for us?
Well, yeah, I was thinking like with football season, maybe every week just come up with nothing new, but just bring up, tailgating items and just talk a little bit about them. So for this week, I just okay, let's start off with something just absolutely Chicago that everybody loves. And I'm going with Polish sausage.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I grilled some tonight. Maybe you can see here. We got the onions.
Look
Maxwell's
at how good
style.
that looks. Yes.
Yeah. Little grilled onions.
Grilled onions, mustard. We got the S-Rosen bun here.
Poppy seed.
Oh my God!
Oh, you hear the snap?
It.
I heard the snap. The skin. That's the best.
Tooch, I'm dying.
I know. I want one so badly. Portillo's has one.
Yeah, Portillo's has an excellent Polish sausage.
They do.
This was I got Bobak's Polish sausage.
Okay, nice.
A very Chicago establishment from back in the 60s. They used to have some delis across the city. Now it's strictly retail, but it's a very good one. You get them at I got these at Pete's in Bridgeview today. You can get them at Jewel, anywhere. Oh, sorry.
All right, man.
I'm so hungry.
That sounds really
it's a
good.
perfect tailgate food. It's a handheld. You can have. You got one hand free for a beer, or if you want to, sit there and point at your guy for saying something dumb, it's perfect for tailgates.
I love it.
And it's simple and I don't know many people who don't like Polish sausage.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So to stay along with this, I also got different style, the link style, the more traditional Polish sausage here, like little finger foods here.
Mm-hmm.
I can't pronounce this one, but again, I got this at Pete's in Bridgeview. I'll put it up here. You can kind of see it there.
Tarzinski's.
Yeah, so it's a
Polish
product
sausage.
of Poland. It's distributed here in Franklin Park.
Very nice.
Very
it's
nice.
$5.99 for one of these. It's 2 links.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I sometimes prefer this, just having it sitting there, a plate while I'm watching a game, and it's almost like popcorn. You just sort of pop it in your mouth, and you get the mustard with it. This is one I like to dip in it. Again, I can't pronounce it.
Pitska.
Yeah, it's got a little heat. Oh, excuse me. It's got a little heat to it, and it's kind of like a Dijon, but a little stronger than that. It's great to just dip in, and goes great with beer. Goes great with with an RC. Or
that's his favorite RC.
Right, I love the RC. But also, it's like if you're into it, it goes great with some vodka. Some vodka and Polish sausage. Yeah,
absolutely.
It's really, in front of a campfire, it's really good.
My son-in-law is Polish, and he introduced me to that Polish sausage, the Polish style Polish sausage that you just held up, and I had it for the first time I think ever. I don't recall as a kid or an adult ever having it. It's delicious. Holy cow! Man. It's good stuff.
Yeah, good snap. And just kinda
there's a couple Polish grocery stores over by Hagen's. I don't know if they're still there anymore. There's one on Montrose and one on Cicero. They used to have all the Polish sauce, different sausages hanging, Russian, German, Polish.
That's what the Pete's over there in Bridgeview has them just hanging like that too. And it's, you just kind of pick which one you want if you'd like. And why is Polish sausage big in Chicago? Well, I think they count over 700,000 people of Polish descent in the area. It's like the largest Polish area outside of Warsaw, Poland. So it makes sense that Polish sausage is big in Chicago, and that's why. So I think it's maybe one of the perfect tailgate foods, especially for a Bears game.
That's got to be slightly charred.
Yes, got to have some char on there. Yeah. Yep. I know a lot of people who boil it too, but
Do you guys ever tailgate like in your backyard during a Bears game, or even inside? Just invite people over and cook foods and stuff. I haven't done that in a long time. I guess because of COVID and blah blah blah. But I would love to do that. Just have cook some brats and sausages out in the grill with a bunch of Bears fans here at home. You guys do that?
I do that here, but they're all Filipino. They don't understand football.
Gotta teach them.
Get them around basketball. They're into it.
They come in and they say, "This kind of football? That's what you want us to watch?" No, that's not football.
I was explaining a game to one of them inside watching last year during the season.
Were you successful at all?
A little bit, yeah. Got them into a little bit, but some of the Iowans who are married to Filipino gals, they're just white guys. So hang out and watch the game and stuff. But we got a lot of Chiefs fans out here.
Yeah,
wow.
It's a big Chiefs area.
That's how I felt about hockey when I lived in Arkansas. No one knew about hockey.
Oh
no. That's how it. When I was writing for the paper down there, I would put out in a column and I would add that some like hockey rules and things, like especially around in playoff time, just to try to get people some knowledge on hockey and why I was walking around town in a Blackhawks jersey, what that was all about. So, but yeah, I understand what you mean too. Just when you're around people that just don't know the game.
Yeah.
So,
but yeah, I heard about the Blackhawks #1 draft pick, Mason West.
It's gonna be a fun year. But yeah,
Les, go ahead.
Aldo was saying, once a year I usually have people over. It kind of surrounds our pumpkin carving weekend.
Okay.
So we have the Bears game going. You got the nieces and nephews are carving pumpkins, and we got food, and we're so yeah, we just do that about once a year. But yeah, it's a great thing to do if you're able to do it. It's just relaxing and
good sausage is just the best. I remember one time I went to the Grand Rapids area with a coworker. He invited my family and I to go to his lake house, went boating and fishing and all this stuff. And he had some bratwurst he got from a place called Sobe Meats in Grand Rapids, somewhere in that area. And it was brisket, jalapeno, cheddar, and like barbecue spice or seasoning.
Wow.
And it was like a fucking symphony, man. When I ate
sausage had all that in it?
Yeah, it was like brisket, the ground brisket, cheddar and jalapeno, and it had like a barbecue rub for seasoning inside. It was I think I had 4 of them, man. I was just like,
wow.
Yeah, Sobe Meats in Grand Rapids area.
I've heard of that brand before.
Somewhere around that guy,
Yeah.
It was like a symphony. I've never had better since then. It's like I always remember it.
Okay.
Fitz, Mr. Shorty has gone over to your YouTube channel. He sent us $10 and said, "Welcome to the bar room, Fitz. Subscribe to his channel, everyone watching." And
thank you.
He just did. We all love food, indeed.
Oh, yeah.
And I want to thank Johnny Santucci for inviting you onto this show. What was it, about a month ago? And you were a smash. Yeah, you were a smash hit. And I said, "What are we doing? This guy should be on regularly."
Yep, getting ready for the season here.
Yeah, perfect timing.
Exactly. Absolutely. Any other thoughts?
Was that your relative, Aldo, for yours that owns the restaurant?
Yes. Okay. So Papa Cache is owned by my cousin. It was first owned by my stepfather.
Oh, wow.
Then he sold it to my cousin. And Victor and Nancy have been running that place now for 20 some years. They have been featured in magazines, television shows. There was a really very, very well produced documentary about Puerto Rican culture and so forth. And they chose Papa Cache's restaurant to kind of talk about not only the food, but how it impacts the neighborhood and it keeps the culture of Puerto Rican food alive. And that place, on certain hours, it's almost impossible to get in because there's just a line out the door. And, I've told them, you really need to add more dining room space, because if you remember, Fitz, that there's an empty lot right by the side. He's bought that property.
Okay.
So he could build something there, but he's dragging his feet on that. I with all those customers, he's got to have the money to be able to expand, and he really should.
And can I just add something to what you're saying? It's really such a Chicago thing too. You've got the Puerto Rican culture, but they made something uniquely Chicago with that sandwich.
How about
that's
it?
One of the beauties of Chicago. It's like we take other things and I don't say make them better or enhance them. We take pizza and we turn it into, deep dish. We take hot dogs and we, add everything to it. And it's just another way where, Chicago just sort of, it takes all these things and just adds another layer to something that's already great.
Yeah, that is cool.
One of the greatest food cities in the world, in my opinion.
Yeah, it
Absolutely.
is. It just takes one. And that's, I think, Papa's Cache does just that. And it takes the Puerto Rican culture, add some Chicago flavor to it, and just make something even better.
Do they have like dinner plates too, Aldo?
Oh yeah,
yeah,
absolutely.
Or...
Yeah. And I was there probably 5-6 weeks ago, and the service is better than ever. They got some great people working on staff there. And if you guys go down there, tell Victor that you're a friend of the barroom and Aldo, and maybe he'll take care of you. So put the pressure on.
That's
Vic.
Aldo's old neighborhood.
That is. I got my ass kicked around there so many times. Unbelievable. I went to Clemente High School, which is just down the road from that restaurant, and I got my ass kicked a lot. But
The Father speaks, brings a man to his knees, barroom bliss. Because Aldo thinks no need to fake it, he already made it. He's the man with the plan, but to you, he's the Pod Father, Part 2.
You got to explain why you rolled that. You're muted.
I was waiting for the right spot to drop it. Steven Zim Zimmerman, who wrote the other song about the preseason week one or the game one, and he and I were talking like, you have to write a Podfather song so I can drop it whenever Aldo says something, preaches or whatever he's doing, And that was what he came up with.
I tend to preach a lot. Fitz, any final words to your fans here, or just any thoughts in general?
Oh, just thanks for having me. I'm looking forward to the season and doing this. And I got some ideas, and I hope I can bring them out.
I gotta ask you: have you ever been to New Haven, Connecticut for pizza?
No, I have not.
Okay,
I heard it's great.
It's supposed to be the top. I've been to Peace, which is in Wicker Park, which has New Haven style pizza, and it was.
I didn't know
that might be the best pizza I've ever had in my life. Was Peace?
Really? Yeah. I need to try that.
Very good.
The birth of the hamburger is New Haven, Connecticut.
Yeah, the Hamburg Inn or something like that.
Oh, it's this little place. It's still there.
What it's called, yeah,
I can't remember it, but I haven't been out to the Northeast much, but it's definitely another bucket list.
Well, you'll have to go to Peace in Wicker Park. You get a little taste of New Haven there.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, I'm definitely headed there. Fitz, you said you were going to work on some ideas. I'm begging you, come up with some ideas for Tooch and myself, what to do with the food cravings we're going to go through every week after you do your presentations.
Have a nice full meal before I come on.
Iowa, we finally got a Portillo's. Only thing is, it's 2.5 hours away in Davenport. I try to stop when I'm passing through or if I'm in the Quad Cities, but it hasn't made its way out here. But we did export Casey's Pizza to the Chicago area now, so it's a Des Moines area institution. The gas station with the pizza and stuff. But
Cliff is touting Wagyu burgers. You ever had them, Fitz?
Yes, I have. I get some Wagyu beef whenever I see it on sale.
Nice.
Every once in a while, Jewel has it, and I snag them, take them up as many as I can.
I don't think I've ever had Wagyu, so it's
I
worth.
I have either. I would love to try.
Yeah, it's full of flavor. it's a little fattier, so it's more tender ground beef. Yeah, it's good. If you can find it on sale, I suggest picking some up.
Very nice.
Is any of you guys fans of pastrami? Zach is
yeah.
Yeah, my favorite. Yep. The
You never had it?
Manny's
Never
Delicatessen on Roosevelt. Is that still there, Manny's?
Oh yeah, Manny's is still there.
Oh, they got the
that's-
best pastrami in the world.
Yeah, they're a good follow on Twitter. They're if you want to get hungry. So.
Those guys they're like they'll make fun of you while you're walking through the line and stuff. The workers at the cafeteria.
David says Wagyu is amazing. Can cut it with a spoon. Wow,
Yeah.
I gotta try this Wagyu stuff, man. You guys are gonna teach me a lot about food because I'm not as experienced, I think, as you two guys. That's for sure.
Okay.
All right, Fitz, we'll let you go, and we will see you back here, same time, same channel. Okay.
Sounds great.
Thanks,
Thank you
Fitz.
so much for having me. Thank you, everyone, for tuning
Thank
in.
you.
All right.
Got it. Take care, brother.
Take care, guys.
That is FitzMagic. Go over to his YouTube page, hit that subscribe button, and make sure you're following him on the X machine if you are.
I always stop and listen to or watch his videos on X.
Yeah, I mean, and it was interesting. He retweeted something that I mentioned that he was coming to the bar room, and so I'm reading through all the comments because there was a lot of comments, and my goodness, this guy's got a lot of fans saying,
Oh yeah.
You're going to be great on that show. Good luck and congratulations. This is fantastic. So I'm really, really happy that we might get some new followers to the show just because of him. And
we're getting sick of the chat room, guys, anyways.
That's right. Cliff says, although there is good Wagyu and bad Wagyu, don't get it from Walmart. Yeah, I'm not going to get Wagyu from Walmart.
The meat from Walmart is just terrible. I tell my wife, I'm like,
Costco is pretty good, right?
It's all right. We have a Fairway grocery store. They have a great butcher shop, man. It's just fantastic. The meat there is always good.
We have a great butcher shop like about a half mile from our house, and I went in there and got some steaks. We were having some company, so about steaks for enough for 6 people. And then he rings it up. It was $120. I was like, holy fuck, man! It wasn't worth. I'll tell you that.
There's like a West Des Moines, I guess it's like a butcher shop or market, but they have like farm directs. You can buy direct from farm meats, and they even have like wild game and exotic meats. You know, you can get like elk and boar and rattlesnake and rabbits, all sorts of stuff there.
I've never had rabbit either.
Oh
wow!
I had rabbit in the mountains and in the foot of the Alps in northern Italy. It was fucking fantastic. It was like my relatives there took me to. They wanted to go for Italian barbecue. I was like, oh, kick ass! They call it spiedo, which means like sword, or spear. And it was chicken meat, pork, and rabbit meat, and they were separated by a thin potato.
Ooh,
and they had sage leaves pressed into the skin of all the meats or whatever, all the so then it was slowly spit roasted, and then they pull it off, seasoned, whatever, pull it off. It was like rosemary and sage and a bunch of fennel seeds, all this great, and then they serve it over polenta, like creamy polenta and fontina cheese. Oh, so freaking amazing. Butter. Oh, it was excellent. Italian barbecue, the foot of the Alps. It was like a restaurant attached to a bed and breakfast or hotel or something in the mountains.
Jeez, I'm gaining weight just listening to you.
I know.
And Fitz
I'm
talking.
so hungry. I'm like, what am I going to eat when I get off
here? Exactly. Mr. Shorty says, although you made it sound like Fitz had a show on the bar room coming up. No, he is going to have a regular feature on Bear Their Souls at 9 p.m. to 9:30. He's going to talk Bears football, and then he's going to share one of his videos from the YouTube channel. We're going to talk further about that particular restaurant and answer any questions that you have about food in Chicago. Those of you out of towners, Fitz is the guy to go to. If you're coming to Chicago, go to his YouTube page because you will have, as he said, over 60 suggestions of great places to eat all over town. And that's pizzas, hamburgers, hot dogs, ethnic foods like papacaches, and on and on and on. So it's a great resource, and we're very lucky to have him here on Bear Their
That's
Souls.
fantastic. Yep.
Yeah.
Can't wait to see what he's got next week.
I knew Cliff would love this.
Yep.
I knew he would love it. All right. So for the last 15, 20 minutes of the show here, Tooch
Got my new
just
bear
saw-
shirt I found
I
at the,
love it.
at the resale shop. Where's it over
How
here?
big is that thing? It looks like it's.
I know it's a
triple
gigantic
X.
C. That's 2X. I like it a little loose, 2X, but
Oh, okay.
yeah. Otherwise, I might rip out of this thing. But I like whenever my wife likes, going with the girls to thrift stores and stuff. So I'm all first thing I do is I go and look for the Bears shirts, pants, shorts, hats, mugs, whatever I can at the thrift store. I buy that stuff, coffee mugs or shirts and stuff. Anything Bears,
Shorty is complimenting me on bringing in a food expert onto the show, and I just wrote back to him. Actually, that was your idea. I stole it from you. I used to work for the president of McDonald's USA. Would always tell his owner-operator, steal shamelessly. And so basically he was saying if somebody down the street has a really good sandwich that's selling a lot, steal the idea and you sell it. And so I used to videotape him for his presentations and stuff, and he would ask me once in a while, are you stealing shamelessly? I go, all the time.
Just don't use Bears in the name or you get sued by the NFL.
That's right.
Letter,
George
cease and desist letter.
By the way, I got some news. Greg Gabriel contacted me today, and I'm going to be Greg's guest, and Greg is Ryan Poles' guest to Friday's scrimmage against the Buffalo Bills. So I will have access to the tent where all the dignitaries are going to be. So I'm going to have to buy a brand new Bears shirt or something like that and hobnob with people. Now, Greg is saying, well, I don't want to be there long. I want to get up to the stands and watch practice. And so we will do whatever Greg wants, but it's going to be a great thrill to hang out with a crowd that I would normally not have access to. Thank you, Greg Gabriel. All right, Tooch, you saw a TV show that is produced by the great Ridley Scott. You want to tell people who Ridley Scott is?
Yeah, Ridley Scott's one of our finest directors still living, I think.
He sure is.
Made a ton of great movies. I mean, I can't name them all. I mean, there's some great ones. Gladiator.
Oh,
one
of my favorite movies. Yes.
Yep. Fantastic Gladiator, and recently he had The Duel with Matt Damon and Adam Driver, which was fantastic.
Yes. Okay, I've not seen that. The last duel, right?
The Last Duel, yeah. What did I say? The Duel, yeah.
The
Last Duel, and then famously he had Alien, the first movie, 1979. Which scared the hell out of me. And Alien Earth, that's on FX, which is part of Hulu now, I believe. And man, it's like all the other Alien movies, while they're good and stuff, but this like really looks and feels like the 1979 film. It looks like they used a lot of the sets or backgrounds, the computer, the mother main hub or thing, the ship inside, the way it looks, the clothing, what are the synthetic people, and their jumpsuits and the cyborgs, that kind of takes place, I think, 2 months before the Nostromo launched, which was the ship that was the mining vessel that Sigourney Weaver was on in the first movie. Yeah, that first movie, Ripley. The first movie, which I think is still the best, it really holds up, man. It's like 40-something, almost 50 years ago. That movie, 46 years ago, and it still looks fantastic. It's still scary as hell. It holds up well. The story, it was just a well-made movie. The creature's scary as hell, and he did a lot where it was like kind of like the Jaws shark, where you didn't see it a lot, and that made it scarier.
Yes.
This is a very suspensive movie. It scared the hell out of me. I was 11 years old. My Uncle Roger took me to the movie. He probably shouldn't have, but he was that fun uncle. You ever have like a fun uncle that like did all the bad things?
Yeah.
Get
I
you
try
high.
to be the fun. Yeah, I try to be that guy.
Right. He was like my favorite uncle, and, sadly he's not with us anymore, but I miss him quite a bit. And he took my brother was 9, and me and my brother, we had nightmares for like forever, man, after seeing that movie as little kids,
Cool.
But the story is fantastic. The alien picking off people one by one. It's like a man gives birth, like for the alien.
Whoa, hold on. Spoiler alert, spoiler alert.
Sorry.
If somebody has not seen it, and I know it's what, 50 years old almost?
Yeah, 50 years ago. If you haven't seen it, what the fuck is wrong with you?
What the fuck is right? But if you're young and perhaps have not seen it, there is an incredible scene that Tooch was just about to describe before I interrupted him. So mute for the next 30 seconds because we have to talk about this scene. It is one of the scariest scenes in, I believe, movie history.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, you walk into the movie theater and you're watching this movie, and it's got this eerie, suspenseful, intergalactic feel to it. And one of the characters in the movie is being examined, and all of a sudden he starts convulsing, and everybody's wondering why is he convulsing? And then something pops out of his stomach.
Horrible.
And it's one of those. I love watching reactions by the crowd in the movies, and when I got past my reaction, I looked around. There's still people going like this. It was great.
Yeah, it is one of the scariest movies, segments in motion picture history for sure. The sound was horrible.
Is Spaceballs a spoof on aliens? I thought Spaceballs was a spoof on
I think it might
Star
have had
Wars.
like a little section of the movie where they did a spoof on Alien.
Yes.
But man, you would have been about 21, I think, when that movie came out. I was 11. So I could not. I don't think I slept for like a day or two after that. I just could not fall asleep. I was scared that something was going to eat its way out of my chest. But
well, at our age now, we get that feeling now, but it's called indigestion.
or gas.
GERD or acid reflux.
I've had last 2 days. I've had acid reflux so bad.
I take something for it almost every day.
So do I, but I mean, like it still was getting me the last couple nights. I don't know.
Watch what you're eating, brother.
Yep.
That is a fantastic science fiction movie. I think it was Ridley Scott's second movie. The first movie he came up with, I remember distinctly because when I was in college, everybody was talking about it. It was called The Duelist, and it was with Harvey Keitel.
Fantastic movie.
1977, and it truly was fantastic. And so that made sort of the mark that this guy, and then his third movie, I might be skipping one, but his third movie was Blade Runner, which Zach Sullivan just referenced. Blade Runner is one of the greatest science fiction movies.
It's a fantastic movie, great story. Everything, it even holds up well today too. That one, the world that he created, like the scenery, the costume design and set design was fucking fantastic, just like Alien. The Duelist, I forgot that was him. It was Harvey Keitel and Keith Carradine. I think we've talked about it before. Like Harvey Keitel keeps fucking with them throughout their whole time in service of the French Legion. He always wants to fight him or whatever. It's like and he revisits that again in The Last Duel with Matt Damon and Adam Driver. It's the same kind of thing. They're always at odds fighting. Revisit that same theme. But at 21, like, what were your thoughts, like, seeing it in the theater in 1979?
The Duelist, or you're talking Alien?
Yep.
Alien. Oh my gosh! Just so super excited at that time. Frankly, I don't remember. I don't think so, because what I remember was, I was a college student for filmmaking, and so every movie that came out, we were all talking about it at school. And now I'm starting to remember. I went with a couple of classmates from Columbia College to check it out at the Esquire Theater in downtown Chicago, in that Rush Street area, and we're just blown away. And then I saw it a second or third time, and on one of those times, I took a date, and So it was, to me, an announcement. This is a movie maker, because when you're in college, you're studying all the directors and stuff, and that Alien was an announcement that this guy, Ridley Scott, is a guy to watch. And I think I saw The Duelist after that. It was released at the Biograph Theater, which was a repertory theater on Lincoln Avenue. They would show a lot of old movies and stuff. And so I think I saw The Duelist second there, and then it just confirmed this guy is really special. Doesn't he have a brother that made movies and passed away recently?
Is it Tony Scott?
Tony
his
Scott.
brother? Yeah.
Yes. He made some good movies.
Made some movies too, yeah. He was mostly a producer, writer, but I think he did some directing as well too. But
yeah, I think so, right?
Ridley is fantastic.
Didn't he do the one with that Tarantino wrote some of the script, or wrote the script with Christopher Walken, Dennis Hopper.
True Romance.
True Romance. That's right.
I think he might have been one of the writers, director of that. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. I know every movie that Scott has been in has a very distinctive style, and it's based around shooting people. A lot of gunplay.
Yeah, Ridley Scott might be like a knight now, so Sir Ridley Scott, or
yes,
officer
that
of the
is
British
true.
Empire. But yeah,
that is true. And I agree with Cliff. Good directors make a movie. There's no doubt about it.
Yep. Yeah,
Mr. Shorty's asking, why do theaters still exist? Tooch, do you ever go to the movie theater anymore?
I went recently. We saw the reboot, live action remake of Lilo and Stitch, which is really good.
Great.
With the kids, because the kids are like, for them, they don't really go to the movies that often. So for them, it's like an event.
Yeah. Have you taken them to a drive-through yet?
Yes.
Drive-in,
we went last summer. There's a drive-in out. I think it's Newton, Iowa, somewhere out there. It's one of the. I think it's the last one in Iowa, and we saw that. What was the name of that one? It's like about a robot. It's an animated robot. I can't remember.
Isn't it Mr. Robot?
No,
it's not Mr. Robot. But I know the movie that you're watching because my daughter was talking about it recently.
It's really
Dad,
good.
You gotta see this. You'll love it. Yeah,
it's very good. And it's like an innocent robot.
Is it Wild Robot?
The Wild Robot. Yeah, the Wild Robot.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
That was it. We got food and stuff. We're sitting on the back of the hatchback, of the car, and we had the speakers and everything with seats and stuff and blankets. It got cold at night, but it was really fun. I think we went in September or October. And it was a little chilly that night, but yeah, the Wild Robot.
J2K is a fan.
Yep.
So when you were younger, did you go to a drive-through and go in the back seat?
There wasn't, of course, but there wasn't a lot of drive-throughs in Naperville by that time. When I was growing up, I could drive to them myself. I think there was one in West Chicago on North Avenue.
Yes,
somewhere,
I went to
somewhere
that
out
several
west.
times.
Yeah, somewhere out that way. I think there was one. But...
So tell us more about the TV series on FX that Ridley Scott is producing.
Yep, and it takes place there's a ship with a laboratory of all these creatures. One of them, of course, is the xenomorph, and crash lands on Earth. It takes place around the time of when the Nostromo leaves for their voyage. It picked up that distress signal, and they stop, and the crew member becomes infected, and there's the very first start of the episode talks about the three different kinds of technologies as far as artificial intelligence, which Aldo, I think you really like, because we've been really talking about artificial intelligence and its rise in current times.
Yeah,
and we're talking about tonight with the music and the images and stuff with AI prompts and stuff like that. But there's the cyborg, which is like a cybernetic humanoid. There's the synthetic person, which was like what you saw in Alien the movie with Ash, played by the great Ian Holm, and that one, the short-circuiting synthetic person from Alien.
Fantastic, yes.
And then there's another one. There's three, and whichever technology one that was going to have, a bigger, the corporation would be a bigger corporation. In this, alien Earth, on Earth, which would rise to. We don't know which one because they're all three at this time competing for artificial intelligence dominance. And of course, there's a ship that's crash landed with the alien xenomorph on, and some of the characters are the owner of one of the companies who's been transplanting sick or diseased human beings' consciousness into synthetic bodies and stuff, which is really cool. So I mean, I'm anxious to see where it goes. The first episode was pretty darn good. I haven't seen a television movie that I really liked recently.
Do a bunch of episodes drop? Or
there's only 2 so far. So after next week will be the 3rd episode. So you got time to catch up and stuff. But I think it'll be good. You know,
and J2K asks, so it's a prequel, right?
Yep, and an alien lands on Earth. Yep, yeah. It's a prequel-esque. Yeah, I guess it would be a prequel. At least it's in the Alien universe. There's the Wayland Corporation, of course, and then I think the Cavalier Corporation was the 2 that I remember. I'm going to rewatch it again because there's a lot. It's a lot of exposition. I'm gonna watch it a second time with my wife. She didn't watch it. I watched it by myself. But,
so you're gonna watch the episode 1 of this, or are you gonna watch Alien again?
I'll watch the first episode. I'll watch Alien anytime if it comes on.
Yeah,
you know, turn it on. I'll sit in the middle of it. I love it. Yeah, it's
indeed.
I mean, it's still scary, but I mean, I've seen it so many times. But but the first few times I watched, I was scared to death.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know that I don't think a movie's ever scared me more.
What about? So you say you were 11 years old when you saw Alien. Did the scene of Sigourney Weaver walking around in her underwear excite you at 11 years old?
I think so. Yeah, pretty sure. Yeah, pretty sure I got some stirring.
There was that damn thing that came out of the chest.
But I mean, like the sound effects, it was loud.
Yes.
You know.
Yeah.
And there was that one part where the other female crew member is, you know, countering the xenomorph, and you can hear her over the intercom. You know, she's like so scared she can't even try to fucking catch her breath and breathe. You know, it's like having a complete panic attack. You know, and that was really scary. That scene.
That's wild.
You know, Yaphet Kotto was one of the actors, and
yes,
he was the bad guy in one of the Bond films. I can't remember which one, like You Only Live Twice, I think, or Diamonds Are Forever.
I'm not a Bond fan, so I could not answer any Bond trivia for you.
Yeah, I forget the name of his character, but he was one of the Bond villains. But he comes to her rescue. He's like, move out of the way so I can shoot this thing, and she was too paralyzed to move, man. You know?
Yeah. I gotta check this out. Zach is saying Tony Scott did Top Gun, didn't know he was Ridley's brother. Yes, indeed, they were brothers. And Zach, I think you said earlier he was the guy that jumped off the bridge. I think it was in August of 2012. I got the Wikipedia page open here. Scott jumped off the Vincent Thomas Bridge in San Pedro, the Port District of LA. Investigators found the contact information and a note left in his car parked on the bridge, and a note at his office and family, basically telling people that he was committing suicide. So and one witness to the suicide saying he did not hesitate. He got to his spot and he jumped. He just did it quickly. So amazing when, you know, somebody's so successful.
Yep.
Yeah.
What
so
drives
talented.
Him, you know?
Yeah. It's got to be a terrible sickness, mental illness that does that.
Demons, you know.
Indeed. How have you been mentally, man? I know that your bionic eye isn't exactly the way.
It's been a struggle with the cataract surgery because, like I said, my right eye is like, it's only for distance, and you know, it's like I don't really use distance that often, you know. So I was like, they're gonna, you know, the doctors, they're great doctors too here in Des Moines. It's like, like, don't worry, we want to get you to where you want to be. We'll fix it, whatever. So I'm doing one eye. The left eye was close up, you know, for near vision, you know. So I have two different prescriptions, and you know, my brain will sort it out and stuff. I'll see how it goes. If I don't like it, they'll put the same one in the right eye, you know. But that's a little harder surgery, you know. It's a bigger incision, you know, and because when they implant the lens, you know, it's like in a capsule. It's like spooled up, you know, and then it unfolds, so you know they can make a tinier incision to put it in.
I
you know,
see.
but then when they take it out, it's a bigger incision. So,
okay. Oh, geez. That's kind of scary, man.
Yeah.
Got to tell you. But, they say that, I think you told me before the show, 4 out of 5 people, it's a successful when they have the nearsighted lens and farsighted
monovision.
lens.
Yeah,
Monovision,
Cliff.
huh?
If I might do it differently if I had the choice, because 90% of my day is spent at arm's length. With whether it's like working on the computer, using my phone as a tool, using my tools in my workshop, playing guitar, or reading a book or doing a puzzle with the kids or something. So playing a game with the kids, or shaving, trimming my beard or whatever. So I probably would do like sort of like a cubicle length vision, and then put on glasses for driving or watching TV from a distance.
Wow.
But we'll see how monovision works. So,
well, keep us all posted, man. This is going to be another regular feature on the show. What should we call it? The bionic eye?
Will this bionic eye ever be fixed? Yeah.
Monovision update. I will start working on the song later tonight.
Yeah.
After I
saw,
hit Hiranito.
You saw Echo Valley.
Yes. What a fantastic movie.
What'd you think? The one I recommended, yeah.
That's
I'd
right.
never heard of it. I was like, I never heard of it. And I was like, I wasn't expecting much. And I was like, holy shit, this was really fucking good.
Yeah. It's Sydney Sweeney was in it. So that's why I had heard about it in the past.
Okay.
But the true star of the movie is, I'm drawing a blank. What's her name again? The redhead?
Julianne Moore.
Julianne Moore is the true star of the movie, and basically the plot is that Julianne Moore has a daughter played by Sylvia Sidney who can't not be trusted. She just hangs out with a bad crowd. It's just not going well and so forth. But she loves her daughter very much, and so she continues to let her back into her life. And so, without giving away much more, it's just not a pleasant experience.
No,
it's a kind of a warning for parents. Hey, you got to start cutting ties after a while.
Yeah, it is a noir. Would you say a crime film noir?
Yes, which is another reason I love it. Because I love those
That's
dark shadows. Yeah,
it's up your alley. Did Donna watch it too?
No, she did. Actually, no, she did not. She hasn't seen it yet, but she wants
she like
to.
Those kind of stories?
She loves them. She loves them, but I saw it like at 12 o'clock at night. By that time, she's already in her third or fourth dream. Yeah. So, I really love it. Highly recommend it to people. What's the title again?
Echo Valley.
Echo Valley. Check it out.
That was or Echo Lake. Was it Echo Valley or Echo Valley?
Let's see. I think
it was Echo Valley.
Yeah, Echo Valley. Yeah.
Yeah, which was I think the name of her horse farm, right? Wasn't it the name of her?
Yes.
She trains horse riders. Her character, Julianne Moore. I think the name of her ranch was Echo Valley Ranch.
That is right.
So,
that is right.
I want to say it was somewhere in New Jersey.
Mm-hmm. You're right. It was in New Jersey. It's a really well shot, well acted film, and 2 beautiful actresses. One in her latter part of her career, I think it's safe to say, with Julianne Moore, and one just starting out.
I'm trying to think of who.
Sydney Sweeney.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of who out there is a better actress than Julianne Moore these days.
Yeah, I you mentioned that before the show started. What about Kate Blanchett? Although she hasn't done anything recently that I've seen.
That's a good one though. She's good, man.
And what about Amy Adams?
It's pretty good. Yeah. Is there another? What's the name of that lady from Ozark?
Oh, Laura Linney.
She's really good. Laura Linney, yes. I put her up there. Laura Linney is fantastic.
I would agree with that. But you're right. In terms of female actors, I think she being Julianne Moore, is definitely in the top 5. Definitely. Yeah. There's no doubt about it. Now, what are your thoughts on Meryl Streep?
One of our greatest of all time.
Yes, I totally agree with her.
Yep.
I'll add this one thought. I hope she never wins another fucking award ever.
There was a time where she was like winning every single one, right? In the 80s? Yeah.
Yes, in the 80s, absolutely. I mean, and she deserved every one of those awards, but please, I don't want to see her at an award show being nominated and that whole stuff. Let some of the other people.
Faye Dunaway pretty good too.
Yeah. Faye Dunaway, excellent actress. Cliff is a fan of Lauren Hutton, who is 81. Her life is worth checking out. Model, then actress. Yes, she had the famous gap in between her teeth, and that actually helped her modeling career because it gave her a distinct look. You might remember her, Tooch, she starred in American Gigolo. Remember American Gigolo with Richard Gere?
Yeah.
Yeah, Lauren Hutton. I think that might have been her breakout role, and she did a few things after that.
Yeah, that casting of Sydney, what is that her name? Sydney Sweeney.
Yes,
the casting of Sydney Sweeney in Echo Valley was kind of a brilliant casting job.
It really was.
You expect her to be this great chick, you know, and she's a fucking asshole. You know,
yeah, she really is.
You know,
yeah,
it like totally suckers you in. You know, but yeah, it's great, fantastic, brilliant casting.
Zach says Death Becomes Her with Meryl Streep was great. Sidney Pollack as a doctor always gets me. You know what? I saw Death becomes her in the movie theater, totally stoned. I don't remember much about it.
Yeah.
Other than a couple of the special effects scenes. There's a great scene where one of the characters is shot in the abdomen. It's see-through, and the camera actually goes through the hole in her stomach. Yeah, and so everybody in the theater, all of us film students were going, how the fuck did they do that?
Yeah.
Cliff says, although she used to swallow the plug. She put it in to block the gap, gave it up. So she would put something in between the gap between her teeth, Lauren Hutton, to block the gap.
Huh?
Oh, wow.
White filler.
Yeah.
Gave it up.
I'm telling you, that's become, it's such an eccentric look. Like, did you see The White Lotus this year?
I haven't watched that show, and I so want to watch it. I heard it's great.
Oh, it's fantastic. There's an actress there who has teeth that people would generally make fun at. You see him and it's like, fake teeth, like a hillbilly's teeth. Right. They're just really big and are always out of her mouth. And you would make fun of it. At least years ago, people would make fun of it. But as the show goes on, this woman becomes sexier and sexier and sexier. Tooch, I am telling you that if I ever meet this woman, I'm going to beg her to give me a kiss in the lips.
Sydney Sweeney on White Lotus too?
Yeah, well, not this season. She was in season 1. She was in season 1, yeah. But I guess Euphoria was her claim to fame. Did you see
right.
Euphoria?
That's the one I couldn't remember the name. Yeah, Dan Aguirre and I would review that on have a stream or what was it, the stream team?
Yes.
Yeah, we talked about it every week. Yeah, it was a great show.
Yeah, and I
still
saw the
don't
first
think
episode.
Zendaya's a good actress though.
Yeah, I've heard so
she was
many.
good in Euphoria, but other than that, I think she's crap.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe she'll get better. I mean,
I've recorded Challengers, her last movie, because I heard it was sexy and it's about sports and stuff, but I still haven't watched it, so I really can't comment so much on Zendaya.
She was good in Euphoria. She was really good, but I mean, she's playing a druggie. It's like
it's kind of an easy role to play.
It's an easier. You're always wasted, and you have this problem with addiction. But.
I did see her in Dune, the first Dune that was out, and she was okay. I mean,
she's all right.
She wasn't given much to do.
She was in Spider-Man, Tom Holland Spider-Man movies.
I didn't know that because they're dating, right? Tom Holland and Zendaya.
Were they? I think they were, or they are. Yeah, I don't know. Something like that.
Okay. Zach says, White Lotus was great. And J2K, he's seconding. J2K says, once you watch the first episode of each season, you can't stop White Lotus. I agree. I agree.
right.
It is
I gotta
really
watch
well
it.
done. Mike
Nice.
White is the writer, producer, director
Right,
of
he
White
created
Lotus.
the universe, right?
Yes, he created the universe. Remember to one day go to his IMDb page, because anything that he has written and directed is well worth your time.
All
This
right.
guy is very, very talented. He was on
Nice.
as a contestant in the reality show Survivor, because he
Okay.
loves Survivor so much.
Yeah.
And he was voted out pretty quickly, but he said that the experience in Survivor has helped him become a better storyteller, a writer, and filmmaker because of the dynamics between people, which I thought was a really interesting thought. Maybe that's why I like Survivor, because it's got a cinematic quality to it.
Can't remember how many seasons of Survivor there were, but there's more than 20, I think.
I think they're
got
approaching
quite a
50.
following.
I think
Yeah.
they're approaching 50. They got a
Wow.
50th where they're bringing back a lot of the previous winners and stuff for
Nice.
a special season. 49 is next, and then 50, which is unbelievable.
I'm gonna have to do a bear eating a buffalo next week.
Oh yes, I like that idea.
I kept telling Grok, make the dolphin lay down, man. It's like it's giving a dolphin a hug or whatever.
Should have had the dolphin in its teeth.
Yeah.
And then send it to me. I'd animate it, and we'd make a horror movie out of
Shaking it with his head.
Exactly.
The narrative,
Speaking of
though,
that,
although it's just terrible. The
I
narrative.
think it was. I wanted to mention this to you. 60 Minutes last week did an interview with Jamie Lee Curtis.
Okay.
And just going through her career, what a
just saw her in a
phenomenal
movie, too.
career! Yeah,
Yeah.
she's
And
been
she
on
was
a few things.
She was in Kate Blanchett was in the movie too, and
What was
it was called Borderlands, based on the video game. And I was like, I never saw it, and I like Kate Blanchett. I'll watch it. I was like, it was okay. Had
Okay.
Jack Black, the voice of Jack Black at least, and Kevin Hart. It was
Mhm.
okay. It wasn't bad. I thought
Okay.
it was pretty good. Yeah.
She in the 60 Minutes interview, she talks about her life, and she is the daughter of Janet Leigh. If you
Right.
like old movies, she was
Tony Curtis.
and Tony Curtis.
And Tony Curtis. yeah.
Janet Leigh was famous for she was the woman that was killed in the shower scene in Psycho,
Right.
and she did a lot of other movies. And Tony Curtis was a good-looking actor who never got respect for his serious acting, but I think critics were
Very
unaligned.
handsome.
Very handsome, and a lot of times really handsome guys are not applauded for their acting, but I think Tom Cruise is a good actor. I think
Brad
Tony
Pitt.
Curtis, Brad Pitt, I think all those guys, there's a reason why they're big stars. It's just not their good looks. Those guys are good actors. And so
Yeah.
she grew up as parents that with those being her parents, and it just presented all types of psychological
Yep.
challenges for her. She never planned on being an actress, but somebody kind of talked her into going in for
She's
an
a good
audition
actress, too.
for Halloween. That was her
Yeah.
first role, Halloween.
Fantastic. Yep.
And she nailed it, and has had a great career since then.
Yeah, the
Jamie
later
Lee
ones
Curtis.
too, where she was an old woman in the Halloween movies, are pretty scary too.
Mhm.
I forget
Yeah.
the last 2 or 3 that she did.
I
with,
think
finally
chapter,
trying,
final
finally
chapter is probably one of the
putting it to
titles
rest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are you guys? Oh, Fish Called Wanda. Zach
Yeah.
reminds us.
She was great in that. Yep.
Yeah,
That was a
and
good
who-
one. That was a good one.
Otto was played by Kevin Kline.
Kevin Kline. Yep.
Yeah, a great
Yeah.
character. Very
We
funny.
had
movie.
a couple guys from Monty Python in that as well, like John Cleese and Michael Palin.
Yeah.
Who good, excellent in that movie as well.
Very funny movie. And in
Yep.
that 60 Minutes interview, she admits, I think I got cast for that movie because of who my parents were, not because so much as they thought that I was the right actor for it. So, yeah, there you go.
She might have gotten cast for that reason, though, Aldo.
Yeah, jeepers. Well, now I'm hungry and horny. Indeed. Cliff says Fish Called Wanda was exceptional movie making. Yes, it really was. Isn't that a John Cleese movie?
I think he directed it. Yeah, John Cleese.
Yeah.
Yep.
Very talented, those guys from Python. They've
Yeah,
made some
very
great
good.
work.
Yep.
And I just
Fantastic.
recorded Time Bandits, which I haven't seen since
Another
it was
great
released
one.
in the late
Yep.
70s.
Terry Gilliam.
Terry Gilliam. So I'm anxious to see that. Be
He
watching
did,
that in the next few days.
The Fisher King. with
The
Robin
Fisher
Williams.
King with Robin Williams. Yep.
Really good one. And 12 Monkeys. Oh, that was fantastic with Bruce Willis.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
12
Willis.
Monkeys is an excellent science fiction picture.
He's got aphasia, which is like, he can't remember stuff.
I'm
Now
so
it's
sad.
kind of sad. I saw some videos of him with his kids,
Mhm.
adult kids, and just like he's not all there, but another good actor.
Yeah. You hate to see that happen
Yep.
to him. Yeah, Time Bandits is a favorite of J2K's, and Cliff says
Oh,
Time
yeah, it's great.
Bandits is weird but cool. Yes, it
I'm
definitely is weird.
Waiting to watch that with the kids.
Yeah.
I've been having movie nights with them. I'll play like classic albums for them and stuff too, with my
there you
two
go,
girls
my
and
man.
stuff. Yeah,
That's
we,
the way to
we
do
did
it.
a listen to Fleetwood Mac Rumors. If like every song on there is good, it's something they can
Mhm.
relate to and stuff. I did some other ones too, and then we watched The Wizard of Oz and Star Wars.
Nice.
With them, we watched Journey to the Center of the Earth and what's the other one? Mysterious Island or something. I think those two. One was with Brendan Fraser, and then the next one was with The Rock. They love that. And we watched the first Jurassic Park movie too. They really liked that. It was a little scary, but
the
they liked
Steven
it.
Spielberg directed one. Yes,
the
it is
original.
scary.
Yep, I saw
Yes.
the new one too with Scarlett Johansson. It was
Mhm.
okay. I love Mahershala Ali. He's in it too. He's a great actor.
Oh, okay. That's right. That's right.
Fantastic actor.
Yeah. So, what's his name is not in it. The latest one, Chris Pratt.
No Chris Pratt. No
'Cause he did
Jeff
2 or 3 of
Goldblum.
them.
No Sam
No
Neill.
Jeff Goldblum. Oh no.
Yeah, no Jeff. Jeff Goldblum's character was one of the best character, I think. The chaos theory.
Yes. Oh,
yeah.
yes.
Mathematician. Yeah.
Right. Indeed.
Yeah. Fantastic.
All right, Tooch, any final thoughts? Let's get out of here and get some sleep or get some food.
We got the Bills Sunday Night Football coming up. Caleb will supposedly play.
Yes.
The
All the
starters are going to
starters.
play. Yep. Thank
Yes.
God. We'll get
Indeed.
to see. I think we'll have a little bit better idea of what
Mhm.
we're getting ourselves into this season. It's like
Mhm.
it's like a mystery. We're going to have to turn the pages 1 week at a time.
Right.
And then hopefully Caleb silences his critics, his doubters.
Yep.
Because now I'm really rooting for the kid after this week. I'm just like, he didn't play in the game, and all you're talking about is how he's a bust.
Isn't that wild?
It's like it's so Bears. It's like
Mhm.
we can't have nice things.
Yeah. And check this out. I actually got 2 sound bites I'd like to play for
Yeah.
you quick.
All right.
This is, because I was at practice today, and if I were to list the guys that I walked away most impressed with, was number 1, Olamide Zacchaeus.
Yeah.
This guy
Good little
had
player.
an outstanding practice,
Yep.
and according to Ben Johnson, has been playing really good. Herb
Called him out.
Howard asked, even before today's practice, Herb Howard told Coach Johnson, this guy's been playing really good. What happens to Luther Burden if Cicada steals the snaps? So listen to Ben Johnson's response.
He splashed a lot when he's got his opportunities. And Olamide continues to play at a very high level. Assuming Olamide keeps playing at that level with Rome and DJ, does Luther's opportunities become more package-based, at least early going?
It's a beautiful thing about competition, isn't it? Is that each week, you got to earn what you get on game day. So that's exactly how we set this up. That was Ryan and my vision in terms of acquiring all this talent, particularly on the perimeter. It's not just within the position group. It's not just receivers battling out amongst themselves. It's receivers versus tight ends versus running backs. And we'll do whatever's best for the team, number one, to help us win games. But those guys, they want the ball. They got to earn it. And I said in the springtime, and I'll say it again now, what they do when the ball's not in their hands goes a long way in terms of how much we as a coaching staff want to prioritize trying to make them primary.
What are you saying from Luther in terms of his role when the ball's not in his hands?
I see improvement. It's not where it needs to be, but he is getting better every single day.
Tooch, Zacchaeus and Burden. I mean, having those guys playing for snaps is such a luxury because this Zacchaeus, I think he could have his best career in the NFL. I mean, he really loves this offense. Now, listen to Zacchaeus talk about how he has been able to quickly adapt to Ben Johnson's complicated offense.
I mean, that's always how I've been as a player, just being able to know every position, knowing where to line up, and just as we get more reps and just keying in on the little details has been a big thing for me. But I view things big picture wise, so that they move me to a different spot. I know the concept. I'm not learning a new play. It's just I learned the concept first, and then obviously game plan things, you're going to move around a little bit. So if you just have understanding of the concepts and what the play is designed to do, then moving around is not too hard. So that's just always something that I pride myself to be able to do. But like I said, the more reps I get, the better I've been able to key on the details that they want to see on the field.
That's a smart football player who has natural ability and works very, very hard. That guy could really be surprising. I can't believe the amount of weapons that the Chicago Bears have. I don't think in my whatever it is, 50s, whatever years it is, I don't think I've seen a team so stacked. Even that great Mark Trestman team with Alshon Jeffrey, Brandon Marshall, Martellus Bennett, Matt Forte. I mean, those are four outstanding players right there, offensive. But I think this iteration of the Chicago Bears has more weapons. What do you think, Tooch?
Yeah, I talked about him last time. As I know we're going to see him this season as that third or fourth option where it's like, okay, they covered. Well, there's Olamide Zaccheaus and he's wide open, like in an intermediate route or sideline out, or deep sideline out. We're going to see, this guy is like he's open, because he looks like he's got some good separation and can get open, knows how to get open in this offense. So, yeah. Another weapon is going to be Colston Loveland, man. If you think back,
big time.
2 years ago, Sam Laporta was a rookie. And, dude, as a rookie, he had over 120 targets. He caught 86 balls, 889 yards, and 10 touchdowns, man. If we can get anywhere near even half of that from Colston Loveland, it'll be successful.
Absolutely.
That's why they drafted Colston Loveland. It's Ben Johnson's Sam Laporta. I mean, they're even kind of similar size. I mean, Colston Loveland's 6'5", 245, and Colston Loveland's 6'3", 245. But that's the way. I'm excited to see the way Ben Johnson will use Colston Loveland.
Check out what I saw today, and J2K and others in the chat. You're going to love hearing this. There was a formation where they had three receivers to the left of Justin Fields. The receiver closest to the excuse me, Caleb Williams. Somebody just mentioned.
Did we make a signing I don't know about? He's back.
No. So to the left of Caleb Williams was by the sideline was Cole Kmet, the tight end, way out wide. Next to him was Colston Loveland in the middle of the three receivers, and then closest to the left tackle was Olamide Zaccheaus. I mean, is that wild?
Yeah.
Is that wild? And then you had DJ Moore coming on in motion from the opposite position, and it's like, holy shit, what's going on here? And so the reason I mentioned that, the reason I remember is exactly what J2K says. Kmet is going to get his opportunities. There's no doubt about it. Ben Johnson likes Cole Kmet. He really does like him. So, embarrassment of riches for Caleb. So hopefully cash in, bro. Cash in.
Just got the nuance, all of the finer details, the concepts, and then read what the defense is doing and apply it.
Tooch, you guys doing a tailgate show Sunday?
I think so, yeah. Previewing Bears Buffalo.
Yeah.
Did a little first episode back last Sunday.
Yes. Welcome back. You got good numbers. People were glad to see you back. A lot of great comments in the chat.
Yep.
Barfly Tailgate Show back at 9 a.m. and maybe time subject to change. But for Sunday, previewing the Bills and Bears, who will be playing at Soldier Field on Sunday Night Football with the big crew. Their number one crew is all going to be there, so that should be fun.
Austin Booker, I just want to mention a few things. To me, when I was watching him play, his body type and play style and this, and I know he's playing against 2s and 3s, but he looked like Max Crosby, the rusher from the Raiders, who the people are saying, well, we should sign, we should try and trade for Max Crosby, whatnot. But he's got those, I mean, his arms are so long. I don't know how long Austin Booker's arms are, but I mean, he makes a lot of plays with just his length, if we could get some pass rush sack production out of Austin Booker, I think, the defense is going to be okay. If we're not getting pressure, and I'm hoping we'll see a lot of pressure from Grady Jarrett, who by all accounts looks like he still has the juice. But if we're not getting any pressure, I think it'll be a long season. They're not going to get off the field. I could see a lot of third and longs getting converted, because I think I saw a couple where it's like 3rd and 18, and they get they get like 18 yards or something just to convert on a 3rd and long. And when I was like, oh no, I think I had to text Dan Aguirre and say, here we go, 3rd and long, we can't stop it, But
Cliff says, how cool would it be if Booker develops into a quality edge? Yes, it would be cool. He had a little bit of a tough day today, but that doesn't mean anything. You're not going to have great practices all the time, but it would have been nice after that 3-sack performance to go to practice a couple of days later and see him continue that kind of excellence.
The stuff that Rushar was saying about his, linemen and stuff, that was interesting to me. And I just we had talked about on a Barfly Tailgate, and probably I think we talked here about it as well. It's like, what sort of trade value does Braxton Jones have after Sunday? I don't know if he's got a lot of trade value anymore.
I think
damn
you're
it, yeah.
I think you're right.
We might have just had him not play, in any of the games, and
it's almost like they're making things worse for his trade value, and by playing him too early. They should have just mothballed him. And, I understand maybe you were forced to because of injuries to Karan and stuff, but I don't know, man. What I saw out there today, I felt like this guy might not even make the fucking team,
Yeah,
it was that bad.
There was no point. I mean, I know they want to have and I don't know. We don't know what the player's been saying to coaches. It's like, we're competing here. I got to get out there. I feel great, coach. But I mean, it was in the Bears' best interest to not play him at all this preseason.
I agree.
Just go by film from practice.
Yeah,
and stuff.
I agree.
Not let any other team see him in case you have to trade, and in case you get some offer. Because like you said, Rashawn Slater on the Chargers is out for the season. They don't have a left tackle.
Now, I will say this as a competing point of view, is that maybe playing him and having him go through these growing pains will expedite his recovery to full strength. Maybe this is the best approach. Perhaps doctors told. Yeah, let him play through it. Now,
but now you got no choice. Although he's better put some good tape out there before the 3rd preseason game.
Please, exactly.
The end of the 3rd preseason game, right?
Exactly. J2K and a couple of people have been talking about this defense, Dennis Allen's defense. This was Jaquan Brisker responding to a question about how he has embraced, and the rest of the defenders have embraced Dennis Allen's aggressive style.
We definitely embrace it. I feel like we're aggressive defense. We're get out there, especially the players, the personnel we have. I feel like DA fits our, type of personnel we have, and then really I think it helps us when we get back out there. When we're showing, we have a tough schedule this year, so when we're showing those quarterbacks, different looks, things like that, I feel like it will help us in the long run.
That is a cool part about that. He realizes schedule's tough, a lot of quarterbacks. Yeah. So there's only so many looks you can show, but you can't disguise it. As soon as the ball is snapped, you're going to a different look. So it's going to be interesting. Yeah.
I just hope he stays healthy, because this is a kid that, he's a difference maker. He's a difference maker on our defense. He makes plays, gets turnovers, leads the defense. It's a shame that he's had so much injury troubles in his young career, because he's playing for a contract now. The kid, that second contract, that's the one where they're set for life.
Exactly.
So, I hope
and safeties, it's a hard to, especially an injured safety. It's hard to get that contract. So he has to play 17 games and not suffer any head injuries at all.
And I mean, the teams don't really place, that much value on the safety position, because it seems like, you can always find one in the 6th round or 7th round or undrafted that could ball,
Yeah. So, I don't agree with that philosophy.
Yeah, neither do I. I would love to find a star like Kyle Hamilton,
Yeah. And sign him for 10 years. Keep him on the team for 10 years.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the things that was a negative in Eddie Jackson's career, is when they lost Adrian Amos. I think Eddie Jackson could have had another 2-3 years at that same level that he had in 2018 if he would have had a reliable teammate at the other safety position. But
what's his name said? J2K says Dennis Allen was going to draft Brisker.
That's right. I
did not know that.
He did share that. Richard LaFleur says Chicago should have beaten Miami in the preseason. He's right. Mr. Shorty says,
I'll tell you, the play was Caleb Williams' buddy dropping a pass from Austin Reed that would have ended the game. Was Austin Reed.
He was dropped after that.
Yeah, they cut him after, but he whistled that pass in there, man. I don't know if you have tape of that play.
No,
but man, that was a freaking laser.
Yeah.
I mean, if they were to trade Bajan, somebody came knocking for Bajan, I think we'd be okay with Austin Reed. I'm just saying. Plus, his mom's hot.
His mom is hot.
His mom is hot.
By the way, I didn't realize what Mr. Shorty wrote here, and it's been up on the screen for 10 seconds. It seems like I'm patting myself on the back here. Mr. Shorty, I always appreciate the kind words, but I did not want to put that up on the screen. And, the Bear Review says, honestly, the last concussion Brisker had was more bad luck than anything else. You're absolutely right. He claims that he played it the way it should be played. It was Tremble dropping his helmet.
Tremble dropped his head, and they hit head to head.
Right, exactly.
It's a shame.
Yeah, I think we're done, man. Let's get some rest. I'm still hungry. I might make myself a burger or something.
I might have some Polish sausage up there. I might like to do a little char Polish before bed.
Well, I don't think I got sausages, but I got a couple of hot dogs. I can boil some water.
Char up a little hot dog. Yeah,
exactly. Tooch, it's always a blast. Next week, we will have Zim back. So the three likable a-holes will be back together again. And of course, our new feature with FitzPatrick will be back. And then in a couple of weeks, we're going to add somebody else to the show. I'm not going to name names as we're finishing up details, but we have a kind of a handshake agreement. And so the show is going to expand, and it's just part of the changes for 2025. The show, Tooch and I lead the way, and then a bunch of other guys coming in here to act as co-hosts like Zim, or to provide features for us, and so much more to come on that. But thank you, J2K, and everybody else that's had some very kind words for what we're doing here. Tooch, any last kisses? You want to talk a little about your next movie?
No, I would just that that pass from Austin Reed, it was like fourth quarter, and it would, he would have caught it around the 30. It was John Jackson, and they could have gone a little further and kicked the field goal to end it.
Yeah, and I wonder why Ben Johnson didn't choose to use some of those timeouts that he had. I mean, the game ends, you got the 3 timeouts, and you ran out of time. It's like, that was kind of strange. And nobody's asked him about that from the media, at least that I saw.
Yeah. Any thoughts on the Bills for you?
I've been watching Hard Knocks. Have you?
Cool. No, I haven't. How is it?
It's the Bills. You know, it's gotten to the point where they're adding like a lot of. Oh my gosh! They started with Josh Allen. Yeah. They start every episode with Josh Allen and end with Josh Allen. Let's put it that way.
I love the kid. I think he's great for the league and stuff. Fantastic player. You know, a handsome kid. Don't know. I don't know. Has his personality come out in the? Is he?
It does.
Leader, funny leader,
and he's married to a Hollywood actress.
Right. Yeah, Haley Steinfeld.
Steinfeld. Yes,
Haley Steinfeld. Right.
I haven't watched many of her movies other than her first that she did as a child, True Grit with Coen Brothers movie. Yep.
Jeff Bridges.
Bridges.
Fantastic.
Yes.
And she was in the Marvel Hawkeye series where she was.
So I did not see that. Was she good?
She was really good. Yeah. Action hero, and Jeremy Renner is like sort of like brings her along to fill that superhero Avengers role.
Mm-hmm.
You know, she was learning the bow and arrow. You know, high school champ or something, bow and arrow.
There you go.
But, yeah.
Well, all right. That is it for our show tonight. Bear their souls. Thank you to everybody. We'll be back here next week. We've got a fresh show. Tomorrow's Thursday, day off, and then the Willis Twin Towers.
Johnny Buffone.
John Buffone returns the last week of August on a Tuesday. There'll be Tuesdays, will be Wednesdays, and then Gabriel will be Monday mornings. So we've got time slots available. Anybody interested in doing a podcast at the Barroom Network, contact me or Tooch. We'll try to help you. All right. I think that's it. What do you say, Tooch? Should I play the closing theme?
Sounds good. Yep.
Are you going to eat anything before you go to bed? Really? Seriously?
I'm hungry now, man. I'm really hungry. This might be the case every week after Fitz. I might be, I might be having to make something. I better have something ready.
Exactly what I was just thinking. There's got to be something in the fridge every Wednesday night so that when I'm done, I can go eat.
Warm it up, and get it out there.
Exactly. All right. God bless everybody. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.